refuses to worship and kiss the ground on which she walks. If the Sussex squad decide that you are not worshipping her sufficiently, you are on a hit list. Well, of course, doing that beach parody, that was kind of asking for it. Now, I'm not saying this is Meghan, but I believe this is something really orchestrated, especially with the attempted home invasion and all that shit. So I knew these bookings were going to be a problem. And yeah, I've had 5 of them. Day 1 of the adventure in the United Kingdom, the monarchy, the United Kingdom. I've arrived. I flew out yesterday. I'm not releasing any of these videos until I almost go back, or I might even wait until I'm actually back in Gibraltar, Spain. Thought I'd show you my accommodation. I think this is awesome. This cost me, I'm staying here for 7 nights, and it cost me £187 for 7 nights, and I cannot complain at that. It's a really, really lovely neighbourhood. Again, I can't show you exactly where I'm staying because it's so unfortunate, you know. I hope you're all right with that fan on, but it's quite... I'll show you the room first, and then you'll know what I'm talking about. This is the room with the bed. It's kind of weird. There's a bathroom at the end there. This is not real countryside, that's a picture. And then, quite bizarrely, there's a, you know, there's a sort of a kitchen here. But it's all self-contained. It's just me in here, no one else. I'll try and make some space on this counter. But unfortunately, I can't release any videos while I'm in the UK. Not because of you guys, but because of certain people who've proved they cannot behave themselves. Unfortunately, this is why the royal family are not totally accessible to people, again, because of people who, unfortunately, some of them are sadly ill. You know, they can't help themselves. That poor old Diane Durham. Don't know what's happened to her. Disappeared down a plug hole. Oh, that's better. This here, I think that's a window to the next person in the next room. So the window is cunningly disguised with a sheet. But he's a lovely guy who's got this place. So friendly in the messages, great communicator, and that's what I like. Yeah, unfortunately, you get people who just misbehave themselves really, really badly all the time. So I will be keeping up to speed on what old Megsy and Hazza are up to. I'm going to analyse his, you know, he was up on stage in New York. I'm going to analyse that. I'll actually get the footage when I get back, and I'll do a whole video on that, because I thought it was very interesting, his body language and everything. And he sounded to me like he had a very sore throat, like he's had his stomach pumped. I don't know, I'm not a nurse, maybe nurses out there can say. So, it's Sunday today. I flew out yesterday, all went well. I'm not a big one for flying. I don't like flying, and of course Gibraltar Airport is surrounded by water, pretty much. What could possibly go wrong? As far as I know, there's only ever been 2 accidents at Gibraltar. One was fatal, killed everyone on board, the famous General Sikorsky in the Second World War. And the other one, I think it was a commercial, I think it went off the end. I'm guessing it was probably a landing and they didn't stop in time, but it could have been a takeoff where they made the decision at beyond the point of no return. But I think everybody was recovered from the plane on that one. It's incredibly rare at Gibraltar, in fact unheard of. If anything, it was a lot bumpier landing at Gatwick, and oh my god, it's so hot here. I mean, I've just come from, for those of you not familiar with where Gibraltar is, it's 14 miles away from North Africa, 14 miles away from Morocco, and it's bloody stinking hot down there. It always is in June. And when I got off the plane at Gatwick, it was hotter. It's incredible. And my daughter said, oh, it's been like this the last 3 summers actually, Mum. She really moved back to the UK because she's not keen on the heat. Oh, the irony. And it's lovely to be back in England. And of course, I've had to arrange for extra security back at home. That's another reason I'm not releasing videos. Increase insurance on the house, increase insurance on everything, because of the sugars, because of the nutters, because of the stalkers, because of the harassers. It's it would appear that, I mean, it would happen to any of you if you were to start a YouTube channel. In fact, I've got a friend who's just started a YouTube channel pretty recently, and he is already getting it. You know, people trying to find out where he lives. It's bizarre because YouTubers are not, we're not celebrities, we're not famous people. Well, not unless you get like Mr. Beast, that's different. And even then, I'm not sure I could pick Mr. Beast out of the crowd. But isn't it peculiar that people feel when they see someone, I mean, I want to do a whole video on this because it occurred to me last week, listening to some lady who's got problems. She's upset about stuff, you know, her mum died, and she has had other issues. I won't go into that. But during the conversation, it became apparent that she almost blames Trevor for problems in her life, that he didn't even know who she was. It's like some people, it's more than projection. They kind of look at someone that they watch as sort of a parent who should understand and maybe help fix their lives. And of course, YouTubers have no idea, and then they get blamed. And it's not just the Megxit sector, it's everywhere. And I've seen one of you comment this morning and say, oddly enough, YouTube itself is beginning to become a lot more like Twitter, a lot more toxic. It was in the early days, actually, when it was first launched. YouTube was quite toxic. But then people learned quite quickly, because YouTube's visual, sound, stuff like that, that it's more like reality, whereas Twitter is just, you know, when you type something, it could be read in many different contexts. Anyway, so I can't release any videos until I get back to the UK, and that's not going to be for a little while. So not many people know. I think 2 people know the dates that I've come out and the date I'm going back. I just can't risk it because of these naughty people and the way they behave. You know, they'll make a phone call here, phone call there, causing shit. And unfortunately, it does affect people's lives. Cat's fine. Cat's in good hands. And everything is under control back home. So I'm going to have a look around and see what is in good old Blighty, England. I mean, I haven't been back here. Last time I came back here was London with Graham, but then we were right in central London. I don't think, well, we ventured out one time. We went to Hendon Air Museum. But really, when you're in central London, it's very like a little village, isn't it? It's not what people think. It's not like being in a city. I mean, you get to know the people in all the little corner shops that you go to every day. You get to see the same people. It's actually a very, very small place. And when you're in central London, you get to see the royal family quite a lot because you see their motorcades going here, there and everywhere. So, I mean, London, there's a difference between the City of London, which is really tiny. That's a whole other story. That's next to Westminster. Then there's central London, which is Westminster, Mayfair and all that. And then there's the outer London, and London is huge. And I'm kind of near London here, actually. But more countryside. Anyway. And of course I will be going to Lady C's ball. Now, the night of Lady C's ball, I shall be staying somewhere very, very different. And you'll see that. So let's see where this journey takes us. Okay, the end of a perfect day. Well, I've got a story to tell you because you see that small door there? That was the little room that I was in last night and this morning where I did my video. And when I got here last night, I mean, I knew exactly what it was going to be like. And I thought, this is going to be so cool. And the guy is so nice. And I was just so grateful to get there and have a bed. I didn't care. Slept like a log. I went to bed at about 8 o'clock. We went to a pub last night for a dinner. And I met the most unfriendly barman. Oh, I think he was the publican, actually, ever. Example, he comes to the bar like this. What do you want? I said, may I have a pint of snakebite, my good man? He went, nah, don't sell that here. I said, oh, you do have beer? Yeah. And cider? Yeah. Well, it's 50-50 mixed in a pint glass. He went, can't do that, health and safety. I'm not joking. And I will not name the pub. Anyway, I said, could I have a half a pint of cider, please, and a half a pint of beer and an empty pint glass, and I'll mix it myself in the beer garden. I'll just pour them both in. And he went, all right. Anyway, and so on. It went on like that. And then I asked for something like a Corona for Braden. And straight away he went, ID, because Braden looks really young. Braden and Faith, they're like 23, 24. Actually, I think they're both 24 now. Anyway, I did say to them both, when we left, I said, check under the table, make sure we've got everything. Because I said, I ain't coming back here. The food was awful. Anyway, so then I came back here and I was just so exhausted after the flight. And I don't know about you guys, I get really stressed. So I don't fly that often, I don't travel that often, you know. Have I got everything, passport? Have I changed my money? Have I got this? Have I got the directions right? Where am I going? Then I had to get the train and stuff. Anyway, so when I got here, I was just so grateful. It was exactly as I expected it. It was super comfortable. I watched an episode of Top Gear and just went to sleep. And I made the video this morning. And the guy is just so nice because in that little bit where I was, there's no shower. And it's advertised as no shower. And I thought, no problem, because I can use the shower at Faith and Braden's, or I can, you know, I'll make an arrangement, some other arrangement. Anyway, the fella messaged me today and he said, do you know if the people are in the other place? Because there's that little room and another one next door. There's two doors. A white one and a brown one, and I was in the brown one. And I said, oh, I don't know, they must be very quiet because I haven't heard any noise. And he said, well, I only ask because if they've gone, they should have gone by now. He said, if they have gone, you can go in there and use the shower. And I said, oh, wow, that's so kind of you. And I'd asked him if that door had access to this garden, and he said, no, it doesn't, not for that one. Anyway, he said, there's no one in the bigger half. So you can have a shower in there as often as you want. He gave me the code to the Dropbox, and he said, and you can just chill out in the garden as much as you like until someone books it. I said, oh wow, man, that is just so kind of you. And you know, everything he said, is this all right? I'm really sorry about that. And I said, oh, don't worry, I'm fine. You know, I host as well. I know how these things are. No, everything's just perfect. I was really like, so I've been getting on really well with him. He's such a nice guy. And then today we've been out and about. We've been all over the place. We went to Manston Airfield for, well, you'll see. I'll probably have edited that in already. Oh, I love the aeroplanes. All the commercials leaving their jet streams across the sky. It's actually like being in Spain here. The weather is so good. Anyway, so then we've been messing about, doing all sorts of things, and Faith was tired, and I said to her, because I'm about 20 minutes away, I said, look, I'll take the car. I'm insured for the car. What about I take the car, go home, and I'll come back and pick you up in the morning? So she said, yeah, great. So suddenly I thought, I've got a car. Fantastic. I took a wrong turn. Well, not a wrong turn. I missed my turning on the way back. And the Google Maps thing, I mean, blooming heck, this bloody road. I thought there's got to be another slip road or something at some point. Oh no, not for miles. Not for miles. Just in a straight line. I thought I'm going to end up at the Channel Tunnel or something in a minute. Anyway, finally got off the road, and it took me on a detour through the most picturesque little lanes in Kent I have ever seen in my life. I mean, all millionaires must have lived down this. It's just like a little, like if you meet a vehicle coming the other way, one of you has got to reverse to a passing lay-by. It was like that. And it was all shrouded in trees. Oh, it was like something out of Beatrix Potter. Oast houses occasionally, millionaires' houses. And this went on for miles and miles because I'd taken the wrong turn. And I just love Kent. I think Great Britain is got awesome places all over it. But when I was a kid, before the M25 was invented, that sounds old, doesn't it? We used to go on holiday to the Norfolk Broads, so my dad would go through Kent. And I remember seeing the Oast houses when I was little. And also at the weekend, sometimes he would bring us to the river, and we'd all have picnics and stuff. And we used to go down to Folkestone as well, which I absolutely adore. And of course, Dover. I used to go down there a lot to go get the ferry and Dover Castle. So I have always loved Kent, but I've never had the chance to really, really look at it closely. And I have, and coming through this windy lane, it went on for about 6 miles. I mean, it was like, I think I will actually video it in the car next time and I'm going to go down that route again so that you guys can see it. It's just too beautiful for words. And then I just popped out, and it was right here, you know. And I thought, oh, that's where that road comes from. Because my daughter took a completely different route. I thought, oh, well, that's the way I'm going back to her. So anyway, I get back to the house, park the car up. I thought, right, I'm going the off licence. I've got myself a bottle of Lambrusco, of course. Look at the price of that, £6. All the other bottles of wine were like £8 or £9 or worse. And I just thought, whoa, I don't think that's normal for Britain. It was like it's a convenience store. Anyway, I'm digressing. And this guy messaged me again and he said, have you had a shower yet in the house? And I said, oh, no, I got lost and I've only just got back. And he said, I only ask because there's someone who's made an inquiry for tonight. And so I just wanted to check. And I said, oh, well, then I'll leave it. Don't worry. You know, I don't want to cost you money. He said, it's not a problem. You have your shower. I don't care if I lose the booking for the night. It's yours. And I'm like, oh my God, no, I couldn't do that to you. He went, look, you know how to get the key. At least go in and have a look around. And then I said to him, well, actually, this was before I'd even looked at it. I said, how much extra would it actually be to upgrade from the little bed? So, I mean, you've seen it. It's just a room with a kind of a camp bed in it and a toilet. That's it. How much would it be to upgrade? And he offered me the most astonishing price. And I thought, so this is before I'd even been in to have a look. And I thought, oh, it's probably a bit bigger. Well, it's a positive mansion. Would you like a guided tour? It just goes to show it pays to be nice to people and polite to people, because if I was a grumbler and a complainer and, you know, like some of these people who just won't let shit go, trust me, I've had people like that in my house, you know, they'll fucking complain about a speck of dust and make an unholy show of it, you know. But you can review guests back, which I do. Yeah, it just goes to show being nice and being polite pays off. Wait till you see this. So, I've gone from sleeping on a camp bed in a room the width of the camp bed. Firstly, just look at this garden. Just look at it. I can't emphasize how gorgeous this is. It goes, I mean, the garden alone is breathtaking. And the guy, obviously, I mean, look how he's got all his bushes to grow and stuff. If only I was that good at gardening. That's why I call myself Avid Gardener, because I'm not, you know, it's an ironic title. And then he's got all these, I mean, this is just a gorgeous, the size of this garden. And then he's obviously had some sort of a koi pond, which it looks like he's not using. Well, let's go through these bushes, because then we can go through. I honestly, I feel like a princess staying here. And I've been saying to him, oh my God, thank you so much. You are so lovely, so kind. And it goes, look, he's done all this paving. I mean, he's got a little wishing well there. And as I say, I'll release all of this once I've left, once I'm back in Spain, because we can't trust some of the trolls or stalkers, harassers and crybabies and all those other people. I don't know about you guys, but I've just never been the sort that if I fall out with someone, I think, oh, I must ring these people and those people and grass them up and fuck their lives up, you know. I've just thought, that's it, you know, never mind. Yeah, look, he's built all of this. Oh, it's just wonderful. And I was even sitting here. And bear in mind, I'm here for another 6 nights, isn't it? So I've got all these places that I can do videos as well. Of course, none of you guys will see it until I get back. But, and then we can go around this way. And his plants are in such good shape. Mind you, Kent is known as the Garden of England, which it is. Oh, look, he's got all, I think you can eat all that vegetable garden. Right, wait till you see this. And it's just me here. Firstly, this is the TV room. So I can lounge and watch TV. I absolutely love this kitchen. I love galley kitchens. My kitchen at home is far, far too big. Oh, there's a little money spider on my stick. Go away. Yeah, I just love this. And look, he's got like a mirror for a backsplash there. I just love that as well. And then the dining area. But that's not all. And there's a washing machine. Oh my God. And then the living room. And then there's an upstairs as well. And that window, that's the window that I was talking about this morning. So, oops, let's go up the stairs. I just can't believe it. There is a bath. Oh, a bath. There's one bedroom. So, put a light on. This is just one of the bedrooms. Oh, it's a bit harsh. I don't know how you put the other ones on. And then this is my bedroom. Look at this, guys. I mean, so I really do. I feel like a princess. I just can't believe it. And it cost really next to nothing to upgrade from where I was before. As I said, brings me some Meghan Markle, actually, and one or two other people as well. You never know who you're talking to, and you never know who you're dealing with. Now, me personally, I don't care if someone's homeless or if they're a multi-billionaire. A human being is a human being, and manners cost nothing. And I think the way people conduct themselves says a lot about them. Now, I don't want to toot my own horn, but my mum and dad were dead strict. They were like, you don't be rude to people. Obviously, I've gotten a bit rough around the edges as I get older. And there are some people who come at you in your face, aren't you? And you get those moments where it's like, just fuck off, man. But generally speaking, when I meet strangers, anybody, you treat them polite and you treat them with courtesy and dignity. And the thing is, an awful lot of people don't do that. And then they're always the ones that complain and go, how come my life's really bad? How come everyone shits on me? Well, maybe because you shit on everybody else. I don't know. I'm sure that's not always the case for people. Anyway, I'm going to have some more Limbriscoe in the garden. Then I think I might have a bath. And then I'm going to bed. And tomorrow, my dears, is another day. Okay, it's the beginning of day 2. 30th of June. I think it's the 30th today. Or is it the 1st of July? No, I think it's the 30th because we were at the Manston car thing yesterday and that was Sunday. And that was the 29th. I know, because we were going to go to Headcorn. Oh, bloody hell, the guy wanted something like £129 per person. And I said to my daughter and her boyfriend, no way. So we went to Manston where they had a car show because Braden's dad has got a fabulous sports car. I don't know the name of it. It's like a kind of like Chizzy Chizzy Bang Bang, only lower, faster. It's really cool. Anyway, it's like the middle of the night. I mean, it's the morning. I have been up since 2 o'clock in the morning because I'm going to show you something and it's freaked me out a little bit. So you can see the sun is just starting to come up now. This kitchen is my favourite room, and I'm whispering because I go out in the garden for a fag and it's so quiet, so I'm really paranoid I might wake neighbours up. Right, now there are these lights. I'm going to show you everything. There are like these safety security lights on the staircase, which have a sensor. When you approach them, they come on. There's one at the bottom of the staircase and one at the top of the staircase. So I'm fast asleep, all the lights are out, and suddenly the light came on the upstairs. So of course I'm in a strange house. I'm thinking, am I alone in this house? Or is somebody else in the house? So I got up to have a look. No sign of anybody. I thought, right, well, I'm going to go downstairs, have a cup of tea. I mean, it's now, I think it's about 3:30, 4 in the morning now. So I'll show you the lights and then you'll see. I mean, I don't even have to get very close. Oh my God, the one upstairs. I can see the one upstairs is on. Why is the one upstairs on when the one downstairs is going to watch this? As I get closer, you'll see the one downstairs will come on. Okay? That's what they do. See, I didn't even have to get that close. But that one was already on. So I'm going to go upstairs and then you'll see it will go out in a few minutes. And I mean, I'm thinking, what's tripping these lights? Now, it might be an insect, I suppose. Like a moth or something. I don't know how big they have to be. So we're in my bedroom. What I'll do is I'll sit and just chat to you until that light goes out. Look. So I'm laying in bed here. And you can see on my face how bright it is. And you know what I'm like about ghosts and stuff. Ghosts I don't mind. Here. Oh, there is a moth. There is a moth that's flying around. That could be an explanation. I don't know. Anyway, it's really quiet. It's really lovely here. I don't know how long those lights take to go out. A couple of minutes maybe. If it is that moth, I'll catch him and I'll put him out in the garden. You might have come in through... Yeah, the bathroom window's open, I suppose. But I mean, moths are normally attracted to light, and lights were out. There were no lights, but he could have been in the house already. I think it's just after all the years of being with Graham. You know, he would naturally get up and go and check, or I just felt better having him there, even if I got up and went to check. But now it's just me. And then it's terrible, really. There you go, right now. The light has gone out. So this is how it was. I'll just pan round so you can see. There's like a little green. I don't know if you can see the green there. But then if I walk out into the hallway, that light will come on again. And that's what happened. And I wasn't really deeply asleep because, you know, I've said before, I have a bit of insomnia. Well, quite bad a lot of the time, but I didn't have insomnia that bad. It's just I'm in a strange place, really comfortable bed and everything. And for that bright light to come up, oh my God, anyway. Well, I'm up now. That's it, you know. That's it. I'm thinking it's the moth. But then the other thing that happened, which made it even worse, you see that the one downstairs has come on now. I mean, if this was my house, there's no fucking way I would have lights that come on like that. I mean, it's each to their own, I suppose, but there's no way I would have that. So then I had a fag in the garden, I'd had a cup of tea, and hang on a minute. And I came in to make a second cup of tea, and I was actually thinking, this kitchen is so nice, it's so cosy. I suddenly thought, I wonder if this house belonged to the guy's mum and dad, and that the mum has died. I mean, I have no idea. I'm going to meet him, actually. I haven't met him yet. I'm going to meet him in a few days, and I'm going to ask him, you know, about the house. Because when I'm in this kitchen, it just feels really nice, really like homey. I can imagine a mum of a big family cooking a big dinner in this, you know, in this little galley kitchen and stuff. I mean, I can just imagine it. And I can also imagine her son making it all like extra nice for her with the mirror along that and everything. So anyway, I was thinking all of that, making the second cup of tea, and I hear upstairs, boom, boom. And all the other lights were off, you know, all those were off, so there was only the light in this room. And I could see light casting, and I went and looked, and yeah, the light upstairs was on. And that wasn't a fucking moth, was it? Going boom, boom. So, you know, another 5 nights in this house alone. Right, well, that it just cut out on me, that last video, because I'd forgotten to delete some previous videos, you know, and your phone gets full. Anyway, the guy who's got the house, he did say that my daughter can stay as well. She can have sleepovers, so I might ask her if she wants a sleepover tonight. We'll check for moths first. But now I'm up, you know, and you know how your mind gets working. And there was something I forgot to tell everybody. I think it was about a week ago, one of the sugars got beaten up. Oh, it's fucking hilarious, because I hate this particular sugar. She's disgusting. I haven't watched any of her videos. She's on YouTube, so before anybody says don't bother with X, this is nothing to do with X. This is on YouTube. She doesn't have a particularly big followership, but it's just disgusting. She's made cartoons of Graham, like as a skeleton, saying disgusting things. Friends of mine have seen it, told me about it, and they've got copies of it. And I might, if I can, you know, I might one day splice it into one of the videos so you can see how they behave, you know, this type of behaviour. And this particular sugar, she taunted Graham over the last 2 years We became aware of her January 2024. And she just taunted him and tormented him and called him every name under the sun. You know, I don't care what she says about me, but I did care about that. And it really did get him down. It was really thanks to you guys keeping his spirits up, because there are so many of you being positive that it far outweighs, you know, what these few sugars do. Anyway, apparently, I didn't see it. I wish to God I had actually a bit, but as I say, I don't watch a channel, but I wish to God I had seen this. She was on a live, and there's another YouTuber, nothing to do with Meghan Markle, but there's this other YouTuber who's like I think they call it MobTube. They're like gangsters. And this sugar's in America, and she's there gobbing off at a load of the gangsters and calling this particular YouTuber, she was in love with him. It's fucking hilarious. It's a story worth telling. She's in love with him, and he'd said to her, you can be a moderator. And then she found out he has a girlfriend, and she was going ape shit on this girlfriend and saying disgusting things, which is like her forte. You know, that the girl is a drug addict and a bad mother and blah, blah, blah. And I know my Graham was involved in this from beyond the grave. It's just too much of a coincidence, because when we had our the attempted home invasion from what I think are sugars, I think the sugars arranged that. A couple of black girls turned up with some gitanos, and they were like trying to bend. They did actually bend my gates, and this would have been a matter of weeks before Graham died, maybe 8-9 weeks before he died. This bloody awful ordeal. It might not even have been that long. And we had to call the police and everything. Anyway, she laughed about all of that. Oh, she thought that was funny. And when Graham died, oh, she thought that was awesome. Oh, yeah. And she's continued to make videos about Graham, a dead guy, just laughing and laughing at him. And it's interesting the company she keeps as well. But I'll come to that another day. Anyway, she's on a live, apparently, about a week ago, and she's gobbing off about this, I think he's a gangster, I don't know, his girlfriend. And apparently in the comments, him and his girlfriend were going, we're 15 minutes away, we're 6 minutes away, we're 3 minutes away, and they turn up at the house. Her family had no idea, clearly no idea what she's doing in her basement. She's about 45 years old. It's turned out subsequently she's a heroin addict. Doesn't that make a lot of sense? And they'll do anything for a buck. You know, they'll sell their arse, if you'll excuse me, for a buck, because they want the fix. Anyway, so all of a sudden, boom, 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 you know, there's all this fracas going on outside the house. Her mother comes out, her father comes out, her brother comes out, going, oh my God, what the hell's going on? And she's still live, going, come and get me, come and get me, come and giving it a big chat. I mean, literally begging for it, inviting them, going, I'm going to beat you up when you turn up. And apparently, I wish to God I had seen this, but I didn't, unfortunately. And I can't find anyone who's got a copy of this particular bit. She stayed on the live. She was shaking and shitting herself when she realised these people were outside her house. And she phoned the police. And then she let her mother deal with it. This is a 45-year-old woman, so her mother's got to be in her 60s, maybe 70s. She let her mother go out there and deal with it. Her brother ended up in a bit of a wrestling match with this guy, and this sugar, her leg got broken. I don't know how. Her story is she tripped and fell. Well, that's not very good, is it, if you break your leg just from tripping over? You know, I don't have the deets as far as that's concerned. And then she's putting pictures of her broken leg in hospital on her community post and stuff. I did see that. And I thought it was hilarious. I thought, wow, karma came, knocked at your door, and you actually begged for karma to come and do it. Whereas us, we're sitting in our house, minding our own business. I think it was a Sunday. And suddenly, bang, 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 you know, we got these uninvited women trying to break into our home. That's what they wanted. They wanted to get into the home under the guise, oh, my phone is in your house. It's a well-known scam. And when the police turned up, they went, oh, phone's just updated. Oh, it's streets away. So sorry, officer. Well, the black girls disappeared, and then the police came back to us and they said, these people will never, ever, ever, ever bother you again. And they never came back. These people came with a ladder. There were 6 women. And there was a fella or 2 on the peripherals, but I'm not sure if they were involved or if they were just concerned bystander. I don't know. Anyway, she laughed about that. I really feel Graham was involved in this one. Maybe she was running away and Graham tripped her up. So yeah, I thought I would break that news with you. I thought you might enjoy that. I was going to do a whole video about it, but I've completely forgotten about it until just now. It's amazing the things that go through your mind. I suppose it's because of, you know, if any of you have ever lived through a home invasion, and what she had was not a home invasion. She literally invited and begged them to come, and she said how big and tough she was and how she was going to deal with them when they came round. And then the little chicken called the police and hid behind her mummy's skirts. Oh my God. Oh, there you go. And then this fella, oh God, this is even funnier. This is fucking hilarious. He went live to like talk to everybody about this because she had been claiming that she was his girlfriend. And this guy's like, she was never my girlfriend. She's just this girl who lives in my neighborhood, and she wanted to be a moderator. And he put up these WhatsApp messages of her begging him for sex and him being very non-committal, like, oh, I'm kind of busy right now. Maybe I'll come round another day. And this guy's like, I just made her a moderator. Why would she think I want a sexual relationship with her? And I couldn't stop laughing. God forgive me, I could not stop laughing. I was in his chat. I actually said to him, you know, she is evil. She has tormented my husband to death. And this guy was shocked. He was like, well, because he knew who I was. He said on his live, oh, hello, Avid gardener. He's like, oh, God. Because he's been buddies with this sugar for ages. And he said, look, I didn't know anything about this. And when he saw that Graham was dead, he was like, oh, my God, he's dead. I didn't know that part. Oh, so she didn't mention that part, that Graham was dead. Right, that's interesting. And then he's like, I never led her on. I never gave her a word of encouragement. I mean, what made her think that I wanted to have sex with her? He said she begged him to bench press her. Oh my God, I'd never heard that term before. Class. Anyway, so I was laughing and laughing. I said to him, fucking hell, dude, you deserve a reward. You give me your PayPal details, I'm going to give you a reward for that. Like, off to the event. Oh, it was kind of awesome. She is one evil, evil son of a bitch. She really is. Well, I suppose her parents now know what she gets up to in the basement. 45 years old in her mother's basement and doing that kind of shit. That's the sort of thing you would expect an 8 or 9-year-old to maybe do. And then it seriously comes up top at the doorstep and you're like, oh no, what am I going to... But a 45-year-old woman, this is the mentality of the sugars. Because her name and address is all out there on the internet. Someone, not me, someone else put that out there. But this guy knew her anyway, apparently. And there was an American flag involved in it. And oh my God, people have been roaring with laughter because karma, talk about karma. Thank you, Graham. God bless him. See, told you dead people do things, didn't I? I just thought you might enjoy that story. Right, I'm going to have to... I just can't go back to sleep. I just checked the time. It's 4:30 now. The sun is up, and there is no way my daughter's going to be up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'm just going to be, I don't know, twiddling my thumbs through about 3 or 4 hours until everybody else is up. I might watch some TV. I might watch some YouTube. I might catch up on whatever Harry and Meghan have been up to. There's not much. I saw the Daily Mail had a headline, quite a lame one about, oh, Meghan's jam comes from 2,000 miles away. You think, did anybody really believe she was making it all from her own garden? In fact, I think I made a video about that not that long ago. A few months ago, I think I explained about it's called drop shipping, isn't it? Where you can actually contact. I could start my own jam, and the new drop shippers are in France. If you want things like that, there are lots of jam manufacturers in France, and you can contact them and you can say, can you put my label on and can you ship it directly? When I get an order, I will send you the customer's address, name and address. I will pay you for, that jar, and you send it direct to them. And I think it's called box shifting or drop shipping, something like that. And that's how you make your money. It's a thing. So I'm not at all surprised. I'm just surprised that she didn't use like a fancier supplier, but apparently it's a Netflix connection. I bet Netflix are really loving being partners with Markle. I bet they're not getting any heat at all. I bet they're making billions off the jam, aren't they? You can just imagine old Ted Sarandis, what's left of his hair, is coming out. He'd be going to his wife, what have you got me into? Trying to get me to promote his stupid friend who lives next door who keeps pestering us. I could lose my fucking job. Shareholders are breathing fire down the fucking email and phone at my secretary morning, noon and night. Oh, divine intervention again, isn't it? So karma does come round. I know karma can come in the next life or the next. I do understand karma. But sometimes it comes round pretty damn quick. Like a revolting little sugar maggot thing that got beaten up and her leg got broken because of unrequited love. Oh, that's even funnier. And the fact that this guy she had the hots for was on a live and going, and the way he was doing it, he actually sounded quite scared. He wasn't doing it in a malicious way. He was perplexed, what in the hell made her ever think that I wanted to have sex with her? And she'd sent him pictures of like fluffy handcuffs and stuff, and he put that up as well. He's like, oh my God, what the fuck is this? Never in a million years would I shag her. And I don't blame him either. And he said, thank God I didn't, because this woman's a crazy stalker. And it wasn't just me in the comments. There was a load of her other victims going, yeah, she stalked me for so many years. Oh yeah, me too. And this guy's like, I had no idea she was a stalker. And he went, well, that's an end to it. And that I was crying, I had tears coming. I thought, this is adorable. This guy thinks it's over. He doesn't realise this girl is an absolute girl, 45-year-old woman, is an absolute habitual stalker. And then he said, she's a smackhead. She's because he was saying, she's accused my girlfriend of all that. Oh, Meghan Markle followers, they're a class act, aren't they, darlings? Oh, they're too good to be true. I wish I could upload all of this, as and when for you guys, but as I've explained at the beginning, I just can't do that because of people like her and others. They're all coming out of the woodwork now. And I mean, if she's a heroin addict, there's a good chance others are as well. Although maybe they might not be that. They might have their own predilection. But as I've said all along, I think people will be very surprised how cheap these people are, how easily they're bought for next to nothing. Bit like the jam that's come from 2,000 kilometres, well, the other side of America. I suppose Meghan would have to get jam from within the States because I suppose she believes her customer base is going to be in the States. I think she's on a loser there. I mean, I'm sure that the United States of America and Canada and Mexico have loads of selection of jam, and titles mean nothing. They mean nothing in those countries. Well, Canada, yes, but actually because it's Meghan, it's going to be quite the reverse, isn't it? So if she wanted to impress people in the United States of America, I mean, I've always got the impression that people in the States like things from Europe. That's the impression I've gotten from Hollywood TV movies, that they like, it came from Europe. So that's why I thought she would go for France. So that then if her customer base is in the States, then she could order the jam from France. But then there could be like food regulatory problems there because the food standards are probably very different between the States and the EU. I don't know. Anyway, I can't shut up talking now. I don't know why, because you're not actually there. You're not going to see this for a week, but just talking to you all, I feel better, you know. And I think it was the moth. I think it was. And I think the boom. I don't know what that was. I think maybe it's just the creaks and cracks of the house. That's what I'm going to tell myself anyway. Well, I'm not going to yatter on until, you know, for the next 3 or 4 hours. I'll leave it at that. And we'll see what the day brings. Day 3, and I had a good night's sleep. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning, more or less. Really good night's sleep last night. We went shopping yesterday. That was the big mission. Charity shops, and it's not as easy as I thought to get a dress for the Lady Sea Ball. The dresses in the charity shops, they were like bridesmaids dresses. Do you know the sort I mean? They're really nice, but not quite right for me. So I brought the sparkly shoes, and I bought a brand new packet of knickers. And that's about as far as I've got. So my daughter finishes work. Oh, hello. Oh, there's a little robin. I don't know whether... Oh, he's gone. And I've got 2 black cats that come through, which is lovely. Yeah, we're going to try and continue the search today for a dress. You see, I don't even know what my favourite colour is, and I don't know what my body shape is other than odd. I've got skinny arms and legs, and I'm a bit, you know, round the middle, so I look like a kid's drawing. Anyway, never mind that. I found an article. The Queen didn't like Meghan from horse's mouth, so to speak. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have read it. You'll have read it by the time you see this. The Queen's cousin, Lady Elizabeth Anson, apparently in 2020, phoned up a journalist and told them, and give that journalist their credit, to a certain extent, they've kept their mouths shut for 5 years. But to another extent, how many people have been bullied, including you guys and other people on the internet and YouTubers, you know, the boozy shit. I suppose she phoned in when they left the royal family. I suppose that's when she cleared it up. Well, apparently Harry was dead rude to the Queen, and for about 15 minutes, and he had booked and asked the Archbishop of Canterbury to come and do the ceremony at Windsor St George's Chapel without asking the Dean. Oh my God, that is so rude. That is really rude. And that she thought he was besotted, and that it was dangerous. And she said, none of us think that Meghan loves him. We hope that she does, but we don't think so. And there's quite a lot. And I got this from page 6 because I saw the initial headline in the Telegraph, where I've got to apparently pay 40 quid subscription a year. Or one of these, try for free, can we have your credit card details first and then we'll give you a refund later. And I don't like that sort of thing. You know, Telegraph, you want to earn some money, open a YouTube channel, have one of those Substacks, or do something else. Don't do it like that. Anyway, so then I found page 6 that obviously they subscribe to the Telegraph. They've got the story and they've reprinted it. So it just goes to show, page 6 was always Meghan and Harry's little pet paper. Maybe they haven't been paying their bills. I think I mentioned that before about credit, lines of credit, royal family. Anyway, Lady Elizabeth was the party planner for the royal family. A great lady. I'd never heard of her before, but loads of fun. I've been looking her up. Lots and lots of fun. And she used a pseudonym for the late monarch because she was the party planner for the royal family. And if they were planning something for Elizabeth II, they couldn't just say Elizabeth II, because caterers and suppliers, they would overhear and they would know. So she used a nickname, code word, Shirley Temple, which just goes to make The Crown on Netflix look even more pathetic. I mean, maybe the Duke of Windsor at some point did say it, but now I'm thinking that rumour most likely came from Lady Elizabeth Anson and not the Duke of Windsor. I mean, I don't know. See, as time goes by, does Netflix stand up as a historical piece? Did it ever? No. It's just pure entertainment. It's like, do you know what it reminds me of? Graham used to laugh about this all the time. They made a movie years and years and years ago called Raising the Titanic. Does anyone remember that? Because they didn't believe the witnesses that it broke in half. Well, of course, many years later, that film looks a bit silly now, doesn't it? And I think that Netflix, The Crown, will look like that. And I really, really think, I just have this sensation, having read that there will be script writers out there and they're going to be reading these stories and thinking, this is just too intriguing. We have to do a story about Meghan the bitch, you know? Oh, don't use that for ambitious women who just use a guy's dead mother's perfume. Oh, that's just ambition. And lays on his mother's grave and transmits messages from his dead mother. That's just ambition. Why do they have to use the word bitch? Oh yeah, so there's a movie in it. I think there might be a 2 movie in it. Maybe a 3 movie. Anyway, on to my outfit. So that's the plan for today. The weather is still spectacular. Yesterday was so hot. Today feels a little bit cooler, I hope. But it is lovely. It's just that England, gorgeous as it is, it's not built for it like Spain. Yesterday I was thinking, I've just got to get in a body of water. And yes, there are swimming pools in the UK. They're generally indoor for obvious reasons. Whereas in Spain, well, where we are, I don't have to go very far and I can just kaplunk in water, whether it's in the jacuzzi in the house, which is it's a blow up jacuzzi. You know, I ain't flexing over a jacuzzi, but it's essential when the weather is hot. You've got to have some water, or I can have a dunk in the marina, or I can go to the beach. Yes, I could go to the beach here if I could figure out where the hell it was. There's a place called Sheerness. I think and Sheerness is really famous, and that's one of the places I would like to go and visit. My dad used to talk about Sheerness a lot. I think his parents used to take him there when he was little in the war. I remember him going on about Sheerness. So, I mean, that's there's just no body of water and apparently no dresses. I'm going to have to bite the bullet and go. I'll have to go to a dress shop. And I mean, I don't even know. I know there's Next. I don't know if Wallace exists anymore. The shop, not the Duchess. I don't know. I mean, these are my pyjamas. These are Graham's pyjamas, actually. I have not been wearing the same clothes. It's just that all the videos I'm doing happen to be early in the morning before Faith comes round or before I head off out. So, I don't know. I'll have to find something. Because of the weather, I'm glad I waited to get one because the weather's so hot. I'm thinking something maybe chiffon. Well, I don't know. I don't suppose it matters. I'll just get any old thing. Don't worry, I won't just go in knickers and high heels. And I spoke to Trevor this morning. It's the first time I've spoken to him in ages. He's doing great. And I was watching him on Candor The Enigma is a channel. I know I don't usually do shout outs, but Candor is a friend of mine. We've been friends for years from when I very, very first started my channel. He has a channel, Candor The Enigma. And Trevor was on that, and it was just, you know me getting to sleep and stuff, and I was just listening, and Candor has a very relaxing voice, and his channel is like, he talks about fashion, he talks about celebrity gossip, he talks about gossip generally, and he literally invites everybody up. You guys, mostly, and occasionally other creators will pop up, but mostly it's you guys, and it's so lovely to put a face to the name. And yeah, he had Trevor on there, and that was the first time I'd seen Trevor in about a week, and it was just so nice. And Trevor's mum was there as well. She's home, and Candor has a very relaxing sort of aura about him, and so I don't want him to take this the wrong way. I fell asleep to it, you know, and I had the best night's sleep ever. I mean, the whole live ran because I kept sort of coming to intermittently and catching onto it. I don't think Trevor was on it the whole time. And then, just a great night's sleep. So, the hunt for the dress continues today. So, success with the dress, yes, Faith?
Yes.
Yes.
Didn't have to spend anything.
been to every shop in the area. I won't say exactly where we are. I've just said Kent. And absolutely hopeless. Hopeless. I tried a dress on in a shop today and I looked like an old lady trying to dress up like a 12-year-old. It was horrible. So I've borrowed one of Faith's dresses, haven't I?
Yes, I mean it was big for me anyway.
It was too big for you. And it's stretchy.
Yeah. Plus I'm flat-chested, so it doesn't work anyway.
So am I. I'm just fat around the back. But it's quite a good dress. It disguises fat. And I got this tennis necklace and tennis bracelet to go with it. And I've lost my, I had those earrings that were like this. So I've got these and I'm not so keen on these. I'm going to try and find the other ones. I could do with a decent pair of scissors to trim my hair actually. That's why my hair's longer one side than the other, because all the scissors on the boat are blunt from the fiberglass. And I was like, it took a half an hour. And I just thought, oh, fuck it. And so that's why it's like that. I wasn't trying to be like Braden.
Yeah, Faith did this for me.
It's brilliant. It's really, really cool.
He's trying to diss me.
No, I'm not. It's fine.
No, it looks really nice, Braden.
It's just a bit short on the sides from what I usually have, but
Is it short underneath all that?
yeah, it's
I see.
So both sides and back were like shaved down with a beard trimmer because that's all we had.
Did it go a bit too short?
It was a bit too short.
It's not loud.
Hey,
It's
it's
quite
nowhere
long.
near as bad as the first time we did it, and we didn't know it was a big
Oh,
trim.
yeah.
So I'm going to leave the
basically
YouTube
folded
chatterboxes to chat to the camera for a minute.
About what?
Oh, I don't know. Something. Anything. Yeah. Imagine it's alive and you're talking to the people.
I see no comments.
Oh, where's the chat?
Yeah.
There won't be any because I'm not releasing anything until I get back.
Ah,
I've got to go find my sunglasses.
okay. That's fine.
Where I put them?
Somewhere in the
Don't
void.
talk over each other, interrupt each other.
No, that's your thing.
Just stare at the camera in silence.
I'm not doing that.
Okay folks, this is dress rehearsal. This is the dress that I've borrowed from my daughter. There's just one tiny thing with it, which you'll see in a minute, but it's stretchy. I broke one of the buttons on the back because I didn't realise they undid before I put it on the first time. So, I move back here. I think you can see it all. The one snag with it for me is it has a train, and I'm not used to the trains at all. Now that's all right if I'm walking forward and no one treads on it, which they're gonna, aren't they? So I figure I'll just hold it like that, and then I can move around at will. And I have borrowed a brooch off my daughter. This is a spider like Lady Hale has at, oh God. Oh, fucking hell. Well, that can't happen on the night, can it? In front of Lady C. Hang on. Yeah, Lady Hale, one of the judges, well, she used to be in the Court of Appeal. I don't know if she's still there. She was famous for having real diamond brooches of insects. Right now, which bloody way does it go? Come on. Oh, get in there. That's it. There we go. And this is a little spider. I actually bought this one for my daughter because of Lady Hale. And I bought this necklace, which came with a free bracelet. Tennis necklace, tennis bracelet, at 59 quid. So I thought that was quite good. And I'm quite pleased with this because I tried every flipping dress you can imagine. And most of the dresses that I tried on, I just looked like an old lady dressed as a 12-year-old. I just couldn't find any shops around it. Oh, and I bought these, look. They've got diamonds. I'm wearing them instead of a tiara. Now, don't be disappointed at me, please, guys. When I tried the tiara on, honestly, it just looked too OTT. And I just want to, like, blend in, sit in the corner. I mean, I'm not going to know anyone. Well, I think maybe I'm going to be sitting with Steph the Altar Nerd, but I've never met Steph in real life. And we've never chatted on the WhatsApp. You know, she's not someone I'm in touch with. I have been on lives with her and chatted to her, but I don't really know her. So, but I mean, I'll recognise her. apart from that, I don't know anybody. I don't think anyone else that's going to be there. I mean, there will be other YouTubers, but I don't think they're going to be sitting with me. I mean, they asked where I wanted to sit, who I wanted to sit with, and I just said, well, I don't know, wherever you want to put me, I'm happy with that. So, right, so yeah, I've got to practice walking in high heels, because I haven't worn high heels for a long time, you know, for a whole evening. So I've got to be dead ladylike. Oh, and I got this from TK Maxx. That's where my hair clips came from, TK Maxx. There's nothing wrong with that. So this is just big enough to put my phone, my fags and my lighter. So I feel that I'm all set and ready to go, and I did my hair today. I borrowed my daughter's hairdryer, and then we will set off on Saturday morning, and we'll be at the new place. And I think, well, I'm hoping it's going to be really spectacular, and I hope you guys are going to like it. I'm going to do a big guided tour of that. Right, in the meantime, let's go and have a chat in the garden, because it's really hot. So I'm gonna need my sunglasses. Hang on. Because it's really sunny out there still. Let's get you guys settled, and then I can get a drink. And there is a bit of wind out here, but it's not like in Gibraltar. Well, I don't think it is. Oh God, I hope it's not. That last video I did, that was really windy, wasn't it? That was awful. Now, where's the best place where you're not going to have... Don't want you to have the sun in your eyes. Hang on, I'll get my drink. Oh, it's like a garden party. Where are we? Oh, there you are. Yeah, it's like a garden party, isn't it? Because this is, I think, what it's going to be like a lot early in the evening. I've got to double check what time we're all supposed to turn up. I've lost it. The invitation is electronic. Oh, here comes the wind. Oh, but it is lovely because it's just so flipping hot. It's been cooler today. We even had rain this morning. Today is, I think today is day 4. Oh, it might be 5. Today is Wednesday the 2nd of July. I think it's day 4 so far. And the ball is on Saturday evening. So it gives you some idea of where we're at. There's not much happening here with me. I'm just sitting here on my own. Well, I went out today, spent the day with Faith and Braden. We went round the shops. Obviously that's... Oh, I've got to move that bloody chair because the wind is going to blow the door. Hang on. Yeah, I can see me tripping arse over tit with this train. Anyway, yeah, I met the guy this morning that owns the house. He's absolutely adorable, lovely, lovely guy. We had a long chat. And then me and my daughter went out and we went... Where did we go? Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, then we went and collected Braden. And then we spent the afternoon shopping and stuff like that, so I could get the bag and the hair clips and stuff and the last few bits and pieces. It's amazing all the little bits and pieces that you need, because, you know, I don't mind dressing up at home, but I don't often do it to go out, so it doesn't really matter if I'm at home. Whereas this matters, because this brings me actually quite neatly to a point that I made in one of the first videos I ever did. God, I really hope this wind isn't going to annoy you guys. One of the first videos I did was people who say, oh, all this dressing up and regalia with the royal family is a load of rubbish. Now, it's common courtesy. When someone invites a member of the royal family to come and visit, they clean everything, they all wear their best. They're very, very proud. They're very grateful that the royal family are coming. And equally, the royal family are very proud to represent and to come and visit. And they themselves want to show respect to their hosts. Oh my God, I think there's someone in the little room who's going to think I'm fucking insane right now. Dressed up, talking to myself. Anyway, so the royal family in fact, shall we go inside again? This has made me feel really self-conscious. I did explain to the guy today that I do YouTube. So hopefully if his other guest says, there's a nutter in the house who's talking to herself in the garden in a ball gown, hopefully he'll explain. I'll just go and get my drink. And of course, I'm used to being on the boat on my own. Oh, I'll turn it this way. I'll turn it that way. Yes, I can. Yeah, I'm used to being on the boat on my own, so I can shout to my heart's content. I can take these off now. It's not so bright. Oh my God. He just coughed. Did you hear him cough really loud? Like, as if like people do to let you know that they're there. I didn't even bring any of my pearl necklaces. I didn't think. I was so stressed about catching a plane. Anyway, as I was saying, so people invite the royal family. They clean the carpet, they clean everything, they put a nice presentation on, they all wear their very best. Then it would be rude for the royal family to turn up not having worn their best, and to turn up on time and to chat to them and to talk to everybody. So, oh God, I hope I'm not on one side now, because that's happened before, hasn't it? I really hope that's not the case. If it is, it is. So these people who say, you know, oh, they spend so much money on clothes. Well, yeah, because they want to look their best. And they represent British fashion a lot of the time. Not just Princess of Wales, not just the late Princess Diana, all of them. And so as you all know, obviously, I'm going to go to Lady C's ball. She herself puts tremendous effort into these events. Everything is cleaned and presented because she is showing her guests respect. And I've no doubt she's an excellent host. So imagine how rude it would be for a guest to just turn up in jeans and a t-shirt and go, all right, how you doing? And just went and ate the food, drank the drinks, and then just left. You know, so I think a lot of these people just don't get the royal family and them promoting things. Unfortunately, my son being one of them, hasn't quite got the idea. I saw that the Treasury, the King's Keeper of the Privy Purse, there's the figures. I read this in The Guardian, actually, and they word it really carefully to twist it because they're anti-monarchy. I think they said that the Crown estates in total for the last year brought in 1.1 billion, something like that. And that's all been given to the government. And of that, the government will give back the King 128 million. So 1.1 billion, 128 million. If you ask me, the monarch is probably the highest taxpayer in the land, or one of them. Maybe billionaires pay more, or maybe not. Maybe they have little tricks and ways. So when you hear people say, oh, they're freeloaders and all this shit, oh my God, it's just pure ignorance really, isn't it? It's not stupidity. There's a big difference between stupidity and ignorance. Ignorance is uneducated, doesn't know about the subject. That's me most of the time. Stupidity is, you know, I think it's actually a medical term where someone can't think, like Harry can't think above a certain level. Right, let's get to Harry. Because, I mean, I've seen even more about this Lady Elizabeth Anson, and what she had said that the late Queen said to her about Meghan. Basically, the Queen just didn't like Meghan at all. How frustrating for the late monarch to watch her dim-witted grandson sucked in by a con artist, which is basically, that's what she could see. She could obviously see from even earlier on what a problem this was and how Harry was empowering this cow, really. It must have been absolutely heartbreaking I mean, you can imagine, I expect a lot of you have had this happen in your family. We've been quite lucky in our family. We've never observed this, but it would just be awful for me personally if I saw either of our kids with some kind of wretched creature trying to take advantage. Thankfully, both my kids are not of the exceptionally low IQ that Harry is. I'm not saying either of them are low IQ at all, but Harry is kind of remedial. I think that's the right term. Remedial, I've always understood to mean slow learners or people who require more attention at school. I think that's what it means, because I struggled with maths at school and I was in the lowest level, and then the teacher in the lowest level, he picked about 6 of us out and he said, these 6, I can't even cope with them. They're remedial. That's what they called us. And so they created an extension class for just the 6 of us. And we were called R3, I think, which stood for Remedial 3, maths. And oddly enough, we ended up being the top in maths because we had only 6 of us. So our teacher, Mrs. Kitchen, she was just working with us. And at first she was ferocious. You know, we all thought it was a punishment. We got to go sit with Mrs. Kitchen. Ooh, she's really grumpy, as opposed to Mr. Liddell, who was lovely. But she warmed to us because there were only 6 of us in the room, and we got to know her really well. And we all did really, really well. And then later on, when I went to state school, I had a boyfriend who was into darts, big time. And so I got into darts as well. And there's a lot of maths involved in that. A lot of quick, you've got to be quick, mental arithmetic, starts at 501. There's a lot of multiplication, subtraction, etc. And he was the top of the maths class and I was number 2. So practice makes perfect. So when I say remedial, I don't mean there's no hope, but it means they need a bit more help, a bit more attention. So I think that's what Harry is. I think maybe if he had someone, like, let's say he went into rehab and he had no choice. And so he's not on drugs, he's not on drink. He's kind of at their disposal 24 hours a day in some kind of secure facility. And he gets people to talk to him on a one-to-one, good people. I believe he's at a remedial level. And that I honestly think that one day he's going to wake up, not only to his behaviour during his time with Meghan, but he's going to wake up to how he was before Meghan. And one day, hopefully, if he gets the chance, he'll look back and think, holy crap, I've been a right dick. I've really upset and hurt a lot of good people. You never know, it might happen one day. But I do feel for the late monarch, that must have been absolutely awful. It must have been like watching a loved one in slow motion, going into a train wreck or something and feeling absolutely helpless. And we've all wondered for years, you know, why did they allow the marriage? Because MI6 and MI5 must have done their job, and they clearly did. I think from the late monarch's remarks to Lady Elizabeth Anson and subsequently Sally Bedell, I think that those were not only as a result of the late monarch observing Meghan and her behaviour, but she will have been briefed, most likely by the Foreign Office and Home Office, otherwise known as Foreign Secretary, Home Secretary, and their colleagues. So she will have heard and been well versed on a lot of the stories that we have only just begun to grasp. I think we only know the tip of the iceberg, what's gone on with this girl. I have seen manipulators at work before, and it is awful because no matter how much you try and warn someone, they frequently, they won't listen. And the late monarch did absolutely the right thing. Harry was of legal age and considered of sound mind and body. Yes, under the Royal Marriages Act, she could have put her foot down, but he would have screamed his head off. It would have made matters worse at the time, and I think she made the right decision in the long run. Let him make a bed of nails for himself and learn for himself. We are sick of cleaning up for him and protecting him. This is it. And although it's a long game and it's felt like an eternity, hasn't it? It's been 7 long years. Well, 8 really, if you include before they got married. It's been 8 long years of us watching this train wreck and all of us knowing where it's heading. and look where it's headed. You know, I don't think there's a single person hasn't predicted every single step of the direction of where this is going. I think everybody's kind of been on board watching this. But when you see someone that you care about who is making an absolute bloody fool of themselves, and they are behaving extremely badly because they don't understand the situation, and you desperately want to say to them, please don't do this because you are only going to hurt yourself. I have learnt this year, the best thing is to ignore it. It's not my problem, not your problem. Take a step back, watch the train wreck, and the day they do come grovelling back, just remember the answer is no. No. You blew it. And there is no way. There are several people. Someone was talking to me last night about a particular person who's vulnerable. And I've basically said, I'm sorry, I'm not his mother. I am not interested. One day, this person will discover, and then they'll have a little memory about meeting bad people, manipulative people, and then they will avoid them in the future. But it is not my problem. My initial reaction was to step forward and help and protect, but about a month ago I thought, no, I have my own children, my own family, and all you guys here to think about. We're all in this together, and people who are getting themselves into a terrible state, that's their problem. Very much so. Unless they are a minor, you know, it's a child, it's their problem. And this guy's an adult, you know. He's older than my daughter. It's not my problem. And it is sad, but people do learn. And there have been other people as well this year that I've thought, my God, I can't understand how you could get things so terribly wrong. You really are ignorant, not stupid, ignorant, remedial. And you will play catch up and you will be horrified. And no, my door is slammed shut to those people. Even the day they realise it is shut. I don't want to know. And that is how it must be with the royal family. If William chooses to contain the problem at a later date, as I've suggested before, to protect himself, the monarchy, his wife, his children, and his wider family, that's his decision, and that would be a strategic thing for him to do. But that would only be to protect the monarchy, not to save Harry. As far as I'm concerned, the royal family have done absolutely the right thing and just shut the door. Because if they keep opening the door, if they keep giving chance after chance, Harry will learn nothing and he will continue. He'll come back, I'm so sorry, can I have a cheque, Pa? Then he'll go off, shit all over the family, and money will run out. I'm so sorry, can I have a cheque, Pa? And it turns into a really nasty, vicious cycle. And so the only humane thing to do for the person who is the problem and the family or friends is to cut off, just snip. It's over. It's finished. Those are my thoughts and opinions for the day. My pearls of wisdom. Take them or leave them. And bear in mind, I might be full of shit. And I've just got to practice walking around in this dress and not tripping over or getting my own stiletto caught in my own train and making a complete fool of myself. What's all that noise? That's the only thing. This house is quite big, so I do go around checking all the windows and doors all the time and hearing noises. It's probably the neighbours or the guy in the smaller unit or girl or whoever it is. Until tomorrow, my friends. Okay, I'm not sure what day, how many days I've been here, but it's Friday. It must be Friday, 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to Americans. Because I always get confused if it's Independence Day or, well, I can't remember, but I know it's a big thing. So have a nice one. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. I know I'm still wearing Graham's pyjamas. It's because I do all these videos either in the evening or first thing in the morning. But don't worry, I'm not going to wear his pyjamas to Lady C's. I did do a video vlog yesterday, but I'm not going to include that, I don't think, because it was a bad day. You know, it was we all have good days and bad days, don't we? And it was a very dark day yesterday. So I don't want to get you all down. You don't need to all that shit anyway. I can give you a rundown. It's Fiona, full of self-pity, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so today I wanted to talk about quite a different subject. Well, actually, it's about Megan, but this is really weird. I'm going to tell you a story. And I'm going to tell you a story because I wasn't going to mention this for months, because it's stuff in my private life, which I don't advertise, not because I don't want to tell you guys, but because of the trolls, sugars, her henchmen, or I'm going to be fair to Megan. She may have no idea these people exist. And they could just be crazed fans who think they're doing her a great service. Let's cut her some slack. I don't doubt she has had orchestrated troll activity attacking all of us and the royal family and a whole host of other people. I do notice that celebrities who've come out and criticised her, some months later, suddenly there's a sex scandal, there's a something scandal. Sometimes it comes to something, sometimes it doesn't. But it's like a spray of shit follows her everywhere, isn't it? Like a manure being sprayed out of her, what do they call it, vapor trail. Anyway, so, but things have come to a head while I'm here in England. So I thought, well, sod it, because my circumstances have changed in one area of my life. I feel okay to tell you guys, because then the sugars and the trolls will know. And it's a bit of a long story, so bear with me. Earlier this year, Graham went into hospital twice. And around about that time, I can't remember if it was the first time he went into hospital or the second, but it was really weird. And it was before he went non-compos mentis. Now, as you all know, we have a house and we rent it out to holiday makers. We've been doing that for years. I mean, years and years. And we've always had 5-star ratings and everything. A season has a rhythm. Yeah. The Dolphin Safari has a rhythm. I could tell you each month of the year, I can predict it exactly what it is at Dolphin Safari. The same with our house. So when you've been doing something a long time, you do notice something unusual, out of the ordinary. Now, as I say, he wasn't non-compos mentis, and suddenly one day, I mean, it wasn't all in one go, like in 1 minute, but they were very close together. My phone was like, bing, 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 bookings for the house. Well, we're talking February. I'm pretty sure this was in February. Now, that is very unusual activity. Very unusual. Do you mind? This garden's lovely. There's a little robin, there's a turtle dove, there's him, the crow, there's a magpie. Oh, they're gorgeous, and they come in the garden because it's just me. They come in, anyway. Right, so I'm thinking normally, yes, we might get 1 or 2 bookings over the winter. People who want to plan in advance. But we don't normally get a whole flood of bookings in January, February. That's never happened before. So straight away I said to Graham, I've had a flood of bookings for the house. He knew, I knew that things were going south with him. And he said to me, I'm really worried that if I'm not around, you're going to be attacked. He said, oh, don't start, Fiona. And he was right. I said to him, I'll be fine. Oh my God, you wouldn't believe what's been going on in my private life. This is aside from YouTube. Now, these bookings are really weird because the platform, Airbnb, the rules with Airbnb are not only can the guest review the host can review the guest. When it first started on Airbnb, it was very much a community. It was like for people who want to exchange experiences. So you're a host and you're a guest. Like I'm a guest here. And I have always had 5-star. I mean, I've had 1 or 2, 4 and 3 star. I've never had like really bad reviews. And I said to Graham, I feel there's something wrong with these bookings. And he agreed. And I said, I believe these bookings are a setup because in order to do a review, you got to pay and stay. So let's roll back a little bit earlier this year. I think it was the 6th of January-ish that Meghan released her beach video. And I promptly did a parody, which was enormously successful and popular. I actually kind of thought I looked a lot like her in that. I got her mannerisms and stuff. Well, she for sure will have seen that. I mean, it had a lot of views. And people shared the shit out of it on other platforms. And it's only a really, really short video. I mean, I think it's like 25 seconds or whatever. Anyway, it is my belief that she saw that and she was angry. Or that at the very least, some of her top sugars saw it and they were angry. And, then the home invasion came after that. I'm pretty sure I've got this in the right order of events. And then, as a lot of you might have noticed, there's been savage attacks on YouTube. And then, of course, our house. Not the boat. The boat is different because it's under armed guard. You know, we have police basically live in the marina. We have armed security guards for a start in a marina. We have CCTV everywhere. But we also have visiting Policia Local, Policia Nacional, Guardia Civil, and the Portier police. They all come and they have a cup of tea, coffee, beer. They are around all the time. For those of you that remember, a couple of years ago, I sold my jet ski. And the guy came with a little trolley. And as he was putting it on his trailer, Guardia Civil were on him, guns drawn. Where are you going with that jet ski? That belongs to her boat. You know, it's that on top of the marina. And I had to come over and go, it's okay, guys, chill. I sold it. It's all right. Guns went away. It's that good at our marina. So it's very, 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 very fucking difficult for any stalkers, trolls or creeps, weirdos to come anywhere near the marina. Anyway, but the house, well, this would require money and investment. Now, she's had Christopher Boozy on her show. He is an orchestrated professional troll. He was in with the Sussex squad, who are, in my opinion, a professional terror squad that are there to basically take down anybody, destroy anybody's lives, who refuses, not just criticises her, but refuses to worship and kiss the ground on which she walks. If the Sussex squad decide that you are not worshipping her sufficiently, you are on a hit list. Well, of course, doing that beach parody, that was kind of asking for it. Now, I'm not saying this is Meghan, but I believe this is something really orchestrated, especially with the attempted home invasion and all that shit. So I knew these bookings were going to be a problem. And yeah, I've had 5 of them so far. About 10. I think there's about 10 in total, so I've got 4 more to go. Some tried to cancel and get a full refund less than 24 hours before arriving, and I said no, I have a strict no refund. They said they had a relative who died and they had returned to America, and so they couldn't be in the house. And I said no refund. So they complained to Airbnb, who said no, she has a strict refund policy, no. When they realised they couldn't get their money back, then, oh yeah, we can come after all. I said, oh, hang on a minute. I thought you said you had a relative who died and you're back in the United States. Now I'm not comfortable because I don't think you've been honest. So Airbnb helped me to cancel the reservation. I thought I don't want dishonest people who lie like that in a house. But there have been others. And they've checked in, everything's fine. No complaints at all, but then they've complained to me privately, and their terminology, which didn't surprise me at all, very like the way the trolls talk on X. I mean, I know none of this is gold standard proof. This is instinct. And then they have become problems. Well, I have fallen out big time with the platform. Oh yeah, I want to show you something. Now, as a result of, I mean, when I say I've fallen out big time with the platform, I haven't had like screaming rows with them. I have basically decided, that's it, this is enough. Because you do not support hosts. And I was wondering if it was just me. Apparently not. I have, over the last 24 hours, been watching YouTube videos of shitty guests on Airbnb, how Airbnb don't protect hosts, how Airbnb always side with the... And I have seen some horror stories, none of which, I hasten to add, have happened to me. None of them have trashed the house, although I'm sure that's coming. I'm sure it's coming. I also had police write to me to say that the Sugars that tried to break into the house complained about the CCTV footage. Bad luck, babes. Police took my side on that. So, you know, it's all these things. And I do believe it's an orchestrated, ramped up attack, because I just don't, I see other people. Oh, by the way, it's Trevor Colt's dad's funeral today. My heart really goes out to his mum, because it's actually like 100 times worse for her, because she and her husband, oh my God, I mean, he was her life. When I met Graham, I was 27 and he was 34. So we had lived a certain amount of life before we met each other. Whereas with Trevor's mum and dad, they were sweethearts from dot. And I just can't imagine. I know she is surrounded by a ring of steel where she is. So I thank God for that. But today is going to be an incredibly difficult day for her, the whole family, and Trevor, who's shouldering a lot of it. And I do think about that. And I hope she gets through it. Right, getting back to this situation. So I just Googled, and I think this is Chat GPT, they call it, or something. And this is the very top of a Google search. Many Airbnb hosts are indeed leaving the platform due to a combination of factors, including increased costs. Because, yeah, they charge a cleaning fee. They don't come clean my fucking house, but they charge the guest a cleaning fee. Now, why call it a cleaning fee? Why not call it, this is our commission? That's cheeky, isn't it? And they've done that for years. Changing guest expectations, oh boy, yes, and issues with Airbnb's policy and support. Some hosts are finding it harder to manage the demands of hosting, while others are frustrated with the platform's handling of disputes and the perceived lack of support. There's nothing perceived about it. And what other hosts are doing? Moving to direct bookings. Some hosts are building their own websites or using other platforms to attract guests to avoid Airbnb. Ding, ding, that would be me. As you all know, I'm a web developer as well, so that's the route we're going. I will honour the guests that are remaining. I have to say, this year, I mean, they have been really unpleasant guests, really nasty. It's not just that they've made a complaint. Oh, and their complaints, when they do their review, you could hold them up to the light. It's like copy, cut and paste. Now this would require someone with some financial backing. That could be the SS, that could be the Sugars, it could be some creep like that. There's some old radio DJ who lives near Meghan and Harry. He's been on my case on X for years. You know, he talks about my private parts a lot and compares them to Meghan's. And I think I've seen him, he's been on other YouTubers' cases. So he's dead weird. I'm just gonna get a ciggy. Hang on. But I mean, for a one night stay, years ago, we used to rent a house out for 10 people and we charged €200 a night, which is €20 per person. I mean, where can you fucking stay? Anywhere in the world for €20 a head. Now, what we discovered was the guests that were the larger families of 10 people, they made a lot of breakages and they tended to be the ones that would give a 3 or 4 star review. It was basically a preempt because they knew they'd broken like the glass coffee table or the curtain pole had come down. They'd done something. So what we did was we reduced the number of guests to a maximum of 8 in the house, and we increased the nightly rental to $250 a night to cut out the deadwood, you know, the cheapskates, because you're going to get that anyway. Well, I mean, if let's say, for example, let's be hypothetical. Let's go into my imaginary world. Let's say Meghan saw my beach parody and went, "You fucking bitch, I'll fucking get you." And so she, for 750, let's say it's 3 guests, 250 a night. Oh, plus Airbnb fees. It probably bumps it up to 350 a night. I don't actually know what Airbnb charged the guest. She could chuck a couple of $1,000s at some bookings, couldn't she? She could. You can hire people, secret customers, or you can just hire people. There are ways. I mean, where do you think they get the people who work for the Sussex squad? They're not all die-hard Meghan fans. A lot of them are like, I'll give you $100. You make some shitty videos about one of the YouTubers, make them feel bad, bring them down, start a rumor, start an allegation. You know, it just takes a few $100s. Now, I know a lot of you will be thinking, well, there are loads of Megxit channels. Well, for a few $100s per Megxit channel, you know, she could take down a lot of Megxit channels. There are other ways and means. I think a lot of you have noticed recently on YouTube some stuff that's been going on. Again, we don't have the gold standards that she is involved in it. What I will say is it is a fact she did have Christopher Boozy on her Netflix show, which shows she endorses, condones and supports that type of troll. That is a fact. And also her behaviour and the behaviour of the Sussex squad in the past, I think, has set a very, very low bar of behaviour on the internet. For all her whining and complaining, oh, mindfulness and mindfulness, and all these children are offing themselves because of that online abuse. She is one, in my opinion, she has created some of the biggest trolls online. And also, as everybody knows, Wally was always a massive target for obvious reasons because of her theories about the bump. I was friends with Wally. I was defending Wally. Then Graham made friends with Trevor. Trevor makes Harry look very bad by talking about Harry's service, and Trevor was decorated by Harry's grandmother and blah, 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 blah. So me and Graham were friends right in the middle of 2 of Meghan and Harry's biggest targets. Plus then me doing that beach parody. And I've got to say, I mean, I don't normally laugh at my own parodies, but that one was Chef's Kiss, wasn't it? And it just sort of kind of came to me. They're always the best ones when I would say to Graham, I mean, bless him, this was one of the last things that he did. And he said to me, you know, I can't imagine, what do you want to do? I said, don't worry, it's going to take 5 minutes. I showed him the video that Meghan had put up. I said, I want to recreate something like that, but not in black and white. And just film me from that angle, as the cameraman did there, who I don't believe was Harry, and let me do the rest. And he loved it. He bloody loved it. Do you know what makes me really angry is when some of these trolls, paid or otherwise, say, oh, he should have laid down in bed for the last couple of his years and just cried himself, and you should have held each other. You shouldn't have been on YouTube. I tell you what, guys, I don't think he would have lasted as long as he did if it hadn't have been for you guys, because he used to look forward to talking to you. He used to really look forward to reading your comments, and the one thing he loved more than anything was going live and actually talking to you in the comments. So, you know, those trolls can go fuck themselves, if you'll pardon my French. So getting back to the house. Basically, that's what I'm going to do. I will, because I'm the type of person, I could be a bitch and I could cancel all remaining guests. But I don't know if they're setups from Meghan or her fan base. They could be really good people. I do dread it, waiting for the check-in. And I know straight away they're a problem, because they turn up with a face like a kipper before they've even come in the house. And they're face pullers, and I'm quite fearful, and I think it's just me in the house. I don't know what to expect. 2 guys turned up who were touring on really fancy motorbikes. I saw the bikes pull up. I had this feeling of dread. They were the loveliest guys in the world. They were from the UK. They'd been touring. They went on to Morocco. They were just spectacular. Took the crash helmets off, went in the house, and they went, we've lucked out. And they kind of lived in the jacuzzi for 2-3 days before they went on to Morocco. 5-star review, no problem. But, you know, it's horrible to have that sense of dread every single time, because Airbnb, I don't feel it's a safe platform. It's not safe for me. Not anymore. I mean, I may remain partially on there and work with them. They have changed a lot. It's not just that they rely on AI. A lot of the call centre, they're very polite, helpful. They try to be helpful people. That Indian call centre, but they're actually quite powerless to help. This one lot turned up and I really didn't like them at all. But it was just a sensation. I knew they would be trouble. They were older people, 2 couples, and when I left the house, I mean, one of the women, the first thing she did was she went straight into the kitchen, stood in front of the cooker and went, "I suppose this will do." You know, they were in for one night. She hadn't even looked at any of the bedrooms. Straight away, there was attitude. And when I left, she said the weirdest thing to me. It was hot, and you know me, I was in shorts and a t-shirt, and she said, "Do you work out at the gym day and night to maintain that figure?" I mean, I was quite impressed. Of course, it was a baggy t-shirt, so she couldn't see, you know, the big, thick, fat ring around the middle. But I've got skinny arms and legs. Anyway, I just thought, wow, what a weird, dead, rude, aggressive thing to ask. And I said, actually, no, I never go to the gym. And she went, "Oh." I said, "I walk everywhere, you know. I've been doing a walking thing all of this year." She went, "You don't drive a car?" And she looked up and down the street. This was as I was leaving. And she went, "Where is your car? Which is your car?" And I went, "It's not here because I walked here." And then she went, "Oh, well, it's good to know you're not vain and you don't spend all day at the gym." Slam. And I walked away and I thought, these people are a fucking problem. But they're not the kind of problem you can complain to Airbnb, you know, like they were rude and they've got attitude. That's not something, it's not a thing. So, I mean, I said to Benji, these people are going to be a big fucking problem. Oh boy, yeah, they were. They didn't complain. They didn't say anything to me. They stayed in the house and I had this sensation. I thought, normally I would review the guest before even going back and checking the house, because in all these years, no one's ever done anything really bad. But with these, I thought, no, I am not reviewing them until I have checked that house. So I went back to the house a couple of days later after they'd gone. Everything was fine. So I left them a 5-star review, but I thought I'm not going to do the usual and say, "Oh, these were charming people, lovely to meet you, pleasure to host." I just went, polite, you know, that wasn't correct actually. But then they gave a really bad review, which, as I say, compared to another one, you can hold them up to the light, Mexie. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sure Megan's innocent in all this. I'm sure she's innocent. She would never attack someone's property. She would never endorse someone home invasion. She would never pick on a dying person. Ah, wait a minute. Scratch that. Late Queen, Prince Philip. Yeah. Anyway, so don't suppose my Graham ever stood a chance, did he? Hey, Hazza. Hope you watch these videos, you little shit. Because you're the one that brought this bitch into the peripherals that we've all had to put up with, including your long-suffering family. Calm down, Fiona. Don't show your rage quite so obviously. How sick and fucking tired of this cow you are. Anyway, I'm sure it is nothing to do with her, because it's far-fetched, isn't it? This far-fetched thing. Old Megsie over in Montecito smashing her dishes over my beach parody. Might have thought, I'm going to get that bitch, I'm going to book her fucking house. But then she did her With Love Megan thing, which was released on the day Graham died. Maybe he timed it to avoid having to watch that, because he watched all the boring polo shit and all the other boring shit that they put out. Well, she said this thing, and it really kind of stuck in my craw a bit. But then I thought, Fiona, don't be one of those people. Don't be one of those paranoid people who goes, they're talking to me through the screen. But she said something, or it might have been in one of her podcast interviews. I can't remember now. But she said something like, "Oh, if you want to be a good host and look after your guests so they're not let down and feel the need to complain." Something like that. And I thought, yeah, maybe that's the universe talking to me. I don't know. That was a bit of a specific old thing. And she made some other references, which I thought, hang on a minute, just put my fag out. So, I mean, the nub of the story is the best. You've got to think all of the time. If you're going to have a YouTube channel, it's not just Meghan and Harry. You're going to be attacked by lunatics and people with mental health issues and who don't necessarily mean it or understand the harm they're doing, or you might get obsessive people. It happens to everybody, every single YouTuber. So you have to think all the time. It's like, for example, I can't release any of these videos until I'm back in Spain, because I can't advertise, because the people who are staying in the house, who is like security, I can't advertise because that will put them at jeopardy. They might have an attempted home invasion. Do you see what I mean? So you've got to think like that. You've got to not release all the information. And we always have been like that to a certain extent. We try and tell you guys as much as we can, but at the same time bearing in mind the dangers. And so after, I think it's 9 years with Airbnb, I'm fucking them off. I've had enough. We've always had a great relationship. They have always been a great platform and a great company, but we've never had these sorts of attacks before. And it would appear that their system is not sufficient to vet people and to protect us and help us in the eventuality of something very odd happening. Now, I've cancelled more than one guest this year because they've been dead weird, and I've just thought I don't want them in the house, and I knew. Now, another thing that happened, which is absolutely nothing to do with Meghan and Harry, I mean, it just isn't, is the insurance on the house, right? Now, when I first got that, you've got to have public liability and shit like that. So years ago, I got this insurance policy, and it was about €300. And it's a massive policy, great cover. Well, the next year, it auto-renewed, and it was €400. And I thought, I was busy at the Dolphin Safari, and blah, blah, blah. Next year, it was $450, then it was $500, blah, blah, blah. Now, the first year when Graham was doing chemo, it shot up all of a sudden to €700. And I was like, what the fuck? And it just auto-renewed. And I thought, hell, that's nearly double. Well, it is. It's double, more than double what I got initially. But I let it go because I just thought, I've got to deal with Graham. He's the priority. It's been paid. At least it's been paid, continued with the guests. Happened again the next year at €800. And again, that was last year. Well, since Graham died, it happened about 10 days ago. I woke up, it was a Monday morning, and checked my emails and my bank, all money, because I kept minimum in a particular bank account because of another issue. I mean, it's just been attack from every angle since Graham died. Literally, if they can find a way, they have attacked. This is how I feel, but the insurance thing, this is nothing to do with them. Anyway, it sent me an email apparently at 5 o'clock in the morning, my time, asking, would you like the insurance? And at 5:01, just took the money from the bank. Well, when Graham was alive, I would have just freaked out, screamed my head off for like a couple of hours, calling them every name under the sun, and he'd have gone, calm down, maybe phone him. Well, now he's not here. I just think, well, I'm just on my own, so my blood pressure went straight up. I thought, €800, right, you piss takers. And I thought, take a breath, Fiona, just call them, don't shout. So I phoned them up and I said, look, I have never made a claim in all these years I've been with you. I've been a good client. You've been putting this money up. And she said, well, we've included your no claims. And I said, well, it started at €300 like 9 years ago, and it's €800 now. What the fuck? She said, I can cancel it. I said, can you cancel it and refund? Yes, the money will be back in your bank account within 10 working business days. I thought, well, you fucking took it immediately. Fucking put it back immediately. Anyway, you got to live with these things. They refunded the money. So I'm going around getting quotes. The highest quote I had was €400. I actually found an excellent company, and I chose their platinum service to increase the insurance while, of course, I'm in the UK, and it will remain like that. And it's €324 as opposed to that 800. So, piss takers. I had another one while I'm here in the UK. I checked my bank, suddenly €116 has been taken out. I'm like, what the fuck? So I looked to see what it was, and it was some website service, where they say free trial, put your bank details in, and I did that, and then I cancelled it because it wasn't for me. It just wasn't working for me. So I cancelled it. It said, don't worry, no money will be taken. Well, they took €116. Now, again, when Graham was alive, I probably would have let that slide. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I was so busy cleaning the house, working at Dolphin Safari before Graham got ill, and then Graham's illness. I just didn't have time to argue over this type of thing. Well, so I go to the bank. I said, look, that was a free trial. I cancelled it immediately. I don't want this service. I've never used this service. And how dare they take €116? Money came back straight away. Bank went, they should never have taken that. So my advice is, anybody out there, if you have money being taken out of your bank, there's a lot of cheekiness, naughtiness going on at the moment. Complain. ask for the money back, and there's been other things this year, and if I hadn't have asked for the money back, I'd be down like €1,000 in these piss-taking thieves. And then it is very, very sad to see that Airbnb, after all these years of all my I've hundreds of 5-star reviews, superhost status, that unfortunately their system is not built up for protection. So I will be on other platforms and I will have my own website. So Megsy Baby and Megsy fans, you want to book the house, you're going to have to deal with me directly from now on. So, I mean, there's been all that stress going on as well. Oh my God, you wouldn't believe it. And there's a ton of other things that have been going on. And I actually sat down in the house on my own about 2 weeks ago. And I thought, sit down and analyse this, Fiona, and be logical. List in your mind all of the things that you've had problems with in your life, and list all the things in your private life that have gone really, really well without a problem. So I actually made these 2 lists, and all the things on the list that had gone wrong, they are things that are public knowledge. And all the private things that me and my family have been doing, and some of them are kind of incredible, that nobody knows about, nothing went wrong. Megan, I know you like that whispering. Megan and Harry. What a pair of shit-stirring losers they are. I cannot wait for the day that it becomes visible they're skint. They are skint. Take my word for it. That's what I see from where I'm sitting. They're in a last chance saloon, if that. All this. She's charging people for shipping and not refunding the shipping, and people have paid for products and apparently the products are not there. I mean, it's all huff, bluff, mirrors, smoke as usual, like all her other projects before. She makes a big announcement. I'm going to do this, fanfare, 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 and fuck all comes of it. Because what she's doing is she's hoping that someone will be attracted to her. It's like throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. Most of it slides down, leaving a brown stain. But she does that in hope that someone will want to come and be associated with her success. But most people in Hollywood, everywhere actually, are quite savvy about how Megsy can be. And they don't want to get involved, and they don't want to tarnish their name. Apart from Netflix, who are kind of stuck with her, aren't they? She'll be giving an interview to Oprah soon about those bastards at Netflix are racist. You wait and see, and then old Netflix will find out how it feels to be on the receiving end of it, won't they? Anyway, that's, oh my God, 33 minutes and 39 seconds. That is a long rant. And I thought long and hard about making this particular vlog today because, you know, I mean, they know where the house is. It's rented out, so it's sitting there. We've already had people try to break into it. We've already had police come and try and arrest a dead guy, you know. Leave the dead guy out of it, trolls. Oh, well, I'm wasting my breath because, do you know, whenever I have an enemy and they're down on the ground, I just feel, don't kick them, Fiona. That's a shitty thing to do. Just don't. They're down. Walk away. Mike Graham was different. He'd say kick them to death, so you're sure they never get up. But I was always like, they're down, that's it. You know, there but for the grace of God go I. Whereas, oh my God, it's a marker character, isn't it? Those that love to just keep kicking. No offence, Graham. No offence. He was just on films. He'd like, shoot him again and make sure he's dead. You know he's not dead. Because, you know, in the films, they always grab, don't they? Just when you think they grab their ankle or something when you think they're dead. Ah, well. We live and learn, and I mean, I also sat down that day being analytical and realising that all the things that it's a bit like getting 4 flat tyres. It's a bit more than a coincidence. And the next day you get 4 flat tyres. You start to think, who's stabbing my tyres? You know? So it was like that, and I thought, and I mean, we have done some astonishing things. For example, Faith going to Venice. She went to Venice for a very, very specific reason involving work. Which I can tell you now, I can say that much. But there is no way that we could have shared that at the time. And it was all hit and miss, and would she make it, and would she pass, and blah, blah, blah. And she did great. So, but and the trolls will not be able to work out a damn thing about that. But I mean, even Benji was stressed for her. Braden was stressed for her. And it was a phenomenal task that she completed. And I'm so proud of her. And that was all a great success. And a lot of things could have gone wrong. But that was never public knowledge. Oh, trolls! Oh, you show your petticoats, don't you? You horrible little shits. Plus the shit stirring that's been going on amongst the Megxit community, which I think a lot of you have worked out what the hell's going on there. I think I've got a pretty good lick of it. These things will pass, my friends. These things will pass. And it's amazing, as time goes by, I really think of the late Majesty and how she bided her time, and she was clearly a great believer in time will tell. It just takes some patience. I'm just wondering how long it's going to be before old Haz is laying in the gutter with puke down his... Well, I can't talk. I've been in Graham's pyjamas for nearly a week now. See you tomorrow, guys. Well, it's early in the morning here. I think it's about 5 o'clock or 5:30, something like that. I went to bed at 8 o'clock last night and slept right through. I've actually started dreaming a lot. I've been dreaming every night I've been in this house, and they've been nice dreams. And then I woke up, I actually screamed out. I felt someone touching my shoulder while I was asleep. And when you're trying to scream out when you're asleep, I was obviously dreaming. Anyway, that woke me up, and here we are. This is checkout of here in a couple of hours, and on to the next place. So that will be exciting. So I thought I'd do a final vlog. This is the day. This is Saturday, the 5th of July, and it is Lady C's ball. Now, I'm going to tell you something which might actually shock you. I am expecting trouble. I will explain why. And obviously I'm making these videos and they won't be released until afterwards. I hope to God there isn't any trouble, but it wouldn't surprise me. Lady C, last year was the first year that I'm aware that she did a ball where she allowed anybody could book. And as you know, my daughter and Braden went last year. This is the second year. And as I explained in the previous vlog, an awful lot of stuff has been coming at me. I haven't told you the half of it yet, but I mean, it is coming in the months. I dare say it's been very similar for a lot of the other YouTubers. I see Megsy's cutting fruit. I mean, she's just cutting fruit. That's what the fuck is she doing? And those cupcakes that supposedly her kids decorated, really? Well, I will tell you something about that for a start. The cupcakes that look like the kids decorated them, I used to let my kids do that. And my kids have very different personalities and individual artistic style. So why is it that the child cupcakes all look like they were done by the same person? And why is it they actually look like they were done by an adult? It's just more bullshit. Anyway, let's get to the meat in the sandwich. Lady C's ball. There are going to be a lot of high-risk people at the ball. Lady C being #1 target. Dan Wooten, I believe, is going to be there. Taz is going to be there. I think maybe P. Diner is going to be there. There are going to be a lot of YouTubers there. In order to go to Lady C's ball, it's just so wonderful what she does, because it costs her money. She won't make any money on this at all, because the deal is, it's free to go, but you have to donate £150 to a veterans charity. That's not actually that much money if you were someone, well, I don't know, who might be inclined to book people's houses in order to fuck them up. They could send a couple of people there, only cost them £300, wouldn't it? So, this is going to sound awful, but I'm going to borrow, for example, Braden's lead-lined wallet. I've actually got two back in Gibraltar that Graham had. you put your phone in them, they've got lead in them, and you cannot, oh look, my daughter did my false fingernails, look at that. I'm not really into them, but she said, Mum, you've got to. Anyway, you put your phone in the lead-lined wallet and no one can ring you, it has no reception, but also, we had a neighbour this happened to. The police phoned him up one night and said, some fraudsters have stolen £48,000 out of your bank. And he went, oh, have they? I didn't even notice. This guy's loaded. And his accountants deal with everything anyway. And the police said, don't worry, the money's not going back in yet. We're tracking it because we want to catch the people. And they did catch them. Well, as a process was going on, he said, you know, how did they do this? And they said, they've gotten the information off your phone. And he said, how did they hack my phone? And the police said, sometimes what they do is all they have to do is walk near you. And they have a device and it can, in a millisecond, absorb the information from your phone. Now, I'm not a technical expert on that level, but this is a thing. Now, I've got to take a phone with me because my daughter's going to drop me off and pick me up. And if I feel, you know, I want to get out of here for whatever reason, no detriment to Lady C, but let's say something starts and I just want to get out of there. I need to be able to phone her or text her. But I don't want my phone in jeopardy. So I'm going to use a lead-lined wallet. This might sound really over the top to you guys, and I'm sure nothing will happen. And then this will just show how paranoid I really am. I've always been an extremely careful person. Another thing that I'm going to have to do the whole time is be absolutely certain with my drink that it's not spiked, because I wouldn't be a bit surprised. I really wouldn't. So, it puts a bit of an edge on it, and it's not Lady C's fault. It is the fault of these really fucking horrible Sugars, Sussex Squad trolls, mentally ill creatures, and downright criminal behaviour. So we shall see what happens, and I'm going to kind of blend in, I think, like a wallflower, and just try and soak up as much as I can. I was actually telling a friend a story. My drink was spiked years ago. It was back in 2002. It was actually a New Year's Eve party. It was during the time that I was supposedly on the run. We were on a campsite, January 2002, and I knew that the police knew exactly where I was. I knew, because the newspapers, for a start, kept doing articles going, we haven't got a clue where she is. So I knew, they knew exactly where I was. Also, couldn't help but notice I'd been followed by a couple of police officers for several weeks. Everywhere I went, supermarket, everywhere, I saw these two women. And it was obvious to me they were police. And when the police finally came to the campsite, I recognised one of them. And I said to Graham, I told you, that's the lady that's been following me. Her name was Noea. So I knew. And the New Year's Eve party, the guy who owned the bar was called Frankie. And he said, I'm not taking any money on the night because it's just too much. What I'm going to do is tabs. I'll keep tabs for everybody. Well, Graham and I were not comfortable with that because tabs, you know, people can say, I'll put my drinks on. They said they'd buy me a drink, put it on their tab. And we were, you know, pretty hard up at the time, so we really didn't want that. Anyway, Frankie said, I promise I will be guarded with your tabs. I will make absolutely certain. Well, we went to the party, took little Faith, all the kids were there. And in those days, I drank red wine. I had one glass of red wine. And I noticed this man in the corner, right in the corner. And he was really glaring at me. You know how Meghan got caught glaring at Catherine lots of times? He was glaring at me like that. So I said to Graham, you know, who's that guy? I've never seen him before. He's not one of the campsite people. He was really tall, really tall. He kind of looked like, you know how some police officers are just gigantic? But my instinct was he's not a police officer, but he could have been. I felt he was more Daily Mail journalist or something. And Graham said, yeah, I've clocked him. Well, after my first glass of wine, and you all know I'm a pisshead, I mean, I've got hollow legs, I started to feel a little bit strange. Oh, there's a pussycat in the garden. And during my second glass of wine, we'd been there a couple of hours, and I was being really careful because of the tab. I started to feel like really, really pissed. I mean, like I'd had several bottles. And I said to Graham, I've got to go. I have to go home. And he went, you're joking. It's nowhere near midnight. It's really early. I said, I don't care. I've got to get out of here. I feel really pissed. And he said, well, you must, because he'd been drinking pints and stuff. I'd been really dragging it out. And he said, you know, you must have had more to drink than you realise. And I said, I have not. I have been sitting, you know, I've been really, really careful not to drink too much. Anyway, I went outside the bar and a couple of friends basically had to, with the help of, one pushed the buggy back with Faith, and the other two, Graham and this other guy, they had to hold me up. I could barely walk. I felt like, I mean, my head was spinning. He said, are you going to puke? And I said, no, I don't feel sick. I just feel I can barely, well, I can't stand up. I could barely speak. Anyway, I went to bed. Next morning I woke up and he said, oh, you were well pissed last night. I said, I was not. Something's wrong. I don't know what the fuck that was. And he said, well, let's go up to the bar and we'll pay for the tab. And we'll soon find out how many drinks you had. So we went up and we spoke to Frankie and he said, oh, Fiona, you look really, really wasted last night. And no one else had bought me drinks. And he said, you know, you guys were only here an hour and a half, 2 hours, and you left and you looked terrible. And Graham said, well, come on, let's see the damage. How much did she drink? And Frankie said she bought 2 glasses of red wine. That was it. And Graham's face, well, that was, like I say, New Year's Eve, I think it was 2002. It was the year the Euro came out. And I was arrested on the 19th of January, 2002. Oddly enough, I think the attempted home invasion just passed. That was the 19th of January. Pure coincidence, I'm sure. So I have been spiked before, and I suppose the Daily Mail wanted a photograph, you know, of me going, you know, and going fucking crazy or whatever, striptease and all that. But they never got that shot. They never got the picture. But I think that guy was Daily Mail, and I think he spiked my drink, or he was something. I don't know. Back in those days, they used to use various private detective agencies as well who would do skullduggerous things. Wasn't there something called the Levinson Inquiry or something? Yeah, I think there wasn't there? And a lot of naughtiness and cheekiness stopped. So I am, isn't it awful? This is how I have to live my life. I can't release videos. YouTube are still taking subscribers. 1 subscriber on the hour, every hour. 24 subscribers a day. I've been here like a week. So, you know, I can set my watch by it. 1 subscriber every hour, on the hour. Another subscriber on the hour, every hour. Isn't it interesting? All these things, Megsy still has some influence at YouTube, I'm sure. I'm sure, because some channels do just fine, you know, and others are, as you know, shadow banned. But isn't it awful? I can't release videos. I have to increase the insurance on my house. I can't tell you guys stuff because of the absolutely appalling behaviour of certain people. Talking of appalling behaviour, don't know if you guys remember, but when the late Prince Philip died, didn't the Sussex Squad and the Sugars do loads of memes of him as a corpse and stuff? Didn't they do that? Or would you like to see, this is what they did to Graham. This is supposedly Graham as a skeleton talking to me, asking... this is the one where asking why I gave Trevor a blowjob by his grave. Oh my God, as if that ever happened. And that Sugar's actually privatised the video and said, oh, this is an olive branch. Well, shove it up your fucking arse. I will never forgive you, Sugar. I will never forgive you or your cohorts. There are some interesting YouTube channels recently who've been crying victim. Well, they like to be friends with this Sugar. Yeah, I've got all the screenshots of them commenting and all chatting together. Oh, a bunch of little friends. Interesting, isn't it? One of which pretends he was best friends with my old man, which is utter bollocks. He was never best friends with my old man. And if he was, why are you hanging out with a bitch that creates some shit like that? Oh, but you got shit to say about, oh, I think someone with special needs is being bullied, but you got nothing to fucking say about this, dude. Really? Ah, true colours, inconvenient facts, showering down from above. So there's Megan cutting her fruit. She looks madder than ever to me, madder than ever. How is that marketing? How is that ever going to translate to money? Look, I can cut fruit up. Can you cut fruit up? Look at my fruit. Where is she coming from? The girl is living, the girl, the idiot is living in La La Land. Anyway, yeah, I better pack all my stuff up, make double sure that I haven't left anything behind, and we'll be off to the next place, which, as I've said many times, I'm really, really, really looking forward to seeing and sharing with you guys. My God, this is going to be a long video when I put it all together, when I get back. Isn't it awful that everybody has to live like that, I thank God. Thank you, God, he didn't get his security back, therefore IPP, because they would play merry hell. They would have access to all of your information, with or without your consent. Thank you, God. I've been thinking how appalling it is, the way that they treated the late monarch. Appalling. I mean, it's a thing, isn't it? She gave them the world. They would have had nothing without her, and they shat on her like that. Comparing it to something much, much, much more minor, say a large YouTube channel gives a shout out to a small YouTube channel to help them grow, and the small channel shits on them. You're a bully, you didn't give me enough shout outs. Similar thing, isn't it? Oh, it's such an entitled society in which we live. Rather than people thinking, well, I'll get on and make my own party, work hard, make my own success or failure, I'm responsible for what I do. Oh yeah, it's much easier to be, I'm entitled, and the queen of I'm entitled. Oh, hasn't she set a low standard? I definitely reckon they're going through divorce negotiations. And actually, I hope she gives Harry hell. I bet she will, won't she? She's hardly going to be kind to him. And then he's going to be on the receiving end of what all of us have had to put up with, what his family has had to put up with. Does people having cancer stop this? Oh, Princess of Wales. Oh, the King, no less. No, fuck that shit. That's only a little bit of cancer. It's nothing compared to my victimhood. Oh, don't you just love Meghan Markle? Okay, I will see you at the next place. And hopefully, Lady C's ball. Right, so I'll tell you all about the ball. Here we are in my daughter's car. We've been into Arundel Castle. There's a camera. We've been into Arundel Castle, which I really, really recommend. It's a super castle. And I've taken lots of pictures. You're not allowed to video inside, so I've taken a series of photographs which I'll put together so you get the feel that you're moving through. And really, it makes me feel even more how much Meghan just turned her nose up at, and how much Harry has given up. I've got this wobbly thing here. Hopefully the phone won't fall out. The ball. Oh my God, the ball. Castle Goring is much bigger than I thought it was, for a start. It's awesome. Really awesome. And there's like a waterfall outside. I'll put up images and stuff. as much as I can, but obviously a lot of the night people were not videoing or, you know, taking pictures. We did take some pictures. Steph, the altar nerd, and I were sitting next to each other, so of course we got pictures. And I met Dan Wooten, and I saw Taz. Taz came over to say hello. But the thing that was really, really awesome about the whole night, when I first arrived, everybody goes into the foyer, and normally my daughter said last year everybody files up the spiral staircase. There's actually 2 spiral staircases in the entrance, really unique. And Lady C is at the top to greet everybody, and then people can go through the upper rooms and then out to the balcony and down the stairs if they want. Well, I was just standing there on my own, really quiet, and I thought, well, I don't know anybody, and everybody is dressed up in all their finery. And I'm looking at everyone thinking, wow, I think these are probably dukes and duchesses, and I don't even know how to address them. And then one by one people started to come over to say hello, and they told me that they follow various YouTubers. Most of them, of course, are Lady C followers. But 1 or 2 people came over and said, you're Avid Gardener. And it was so nice to meet people who follow the channel. And I really thought they were princesses, dukes, duchesses. They were so amazingly dressed. And everyone, it wasn't like at all stuck up. I just didn't know what to expect, you know. I know Lady C's not stuck up, but you just don't know. And everybody was relaxed, and there were some pretty fancy people there. I mean, it's one of these events. She's basically opening up her home to anybody who donates. All you have to do is donate £150 to the charity, which is for veterans. And Lady C actually, not only does she not make any money on the night, it costs her money to do it. She's opening her home. So it's not one of those events, you know. I have seen people say, oh, it's only for the stuck up, it's only for for posh people. Not at all. There was a really broad mix of people, and everybody was lovely. Dan Wooten and his fiance were particularly lovely, and we had a very interesting conversation, which I won't repeat. But we all get attacks from the Sussex squad, and let's put it this way, I am not alone in believing that certain people may or may not have funded or been behind things. It was also very interesting to talk to quite a few people, as well as Dan, to realise that we're all aiming for the same goal. We are all waiting for the day we have gold standard, hard evidence that Harry and Meghan have funded a terror campaign. We may all deeply suspect, that may be the sensation we have, but rest assured, the day that comes, those headlines will come. Harry the bully, Meghan the troll. Those headlines are in the future, I believe. And I'm not alone in that, because other people at the ball last night, they equally believe this. Lady C did make me laugh. She said, you know, I've seen that you've had your fair share of, as she has, as Dan has, as all of the YouTubers have, and Steph. She said, I've seen you've had your fair share of these trolls, Fiona. But she said, treat them like this. If someone at the dinner table farted, we'd all ignore it, wouldn't we? So treat them for the shit they are. And I don't think she said the shit part, but the fart part she definitely did, which really had me and Steph in stitches. She's quite right, because they are pure filth. They're dirt. They, a lot of the time, they spend their time tweeting or complaining that they can't go to something like Lady C's ball. Well, they could. They probably would be thrown out by security. And yes, there was security there. Good, very good security. Isn't it awful how we all have to live like that? And they would be thrown out. If they behaved the way they behave on Twitter, the way some of these little YouTube channels behave, they would be evicted, ejected by security. But if they learn at any point in the future to behave like a human being and find some manners, then they would also be more than welcome at Lady C's, as would any of you guys. It's lovely, it really is. She opens up her home. The marquee in the garden was, oh, it's just gorgeous, and she has chandeliers in there, and Princess Olga was there. I didn't get a chance to meet her. I was a little bit too shy, you know. I didn't want to go rush up to her and go, oh yeah, Princess Olga, but I mean, she is one of the Romanov family, or Romanov, however they pronounce it. So it's pretty awesome. You can look her up on YouTube. So, and the lady that had the Airbnb, that I'll put some images up of that and some video, really, really cute. Like, it was like a tiny home. I can't believe how spacious it was. When I told her, well, I had told her when I booked it why I was coming. So she was really curious, and she said, it's in Yapton, where her tiny home Airbnb is. And that's about a 22-minute drive from Castle Goring. So, I mean, for local, it's quite considerable distance. Well, she said to me, oh, I see Lady C around a lot. And she said, I'd love to know how it went. She was very curious. She said, she's a celebrity, you know. And I said, oh, I know, she's got a YouTube channel. I don't think she knew she had a YouTube channel, but she was like, oh, she's a big character locally. Everybody knows Lady C, and she's lovely, really lovely. That is her reputation in her own home area here. I also met one of her sons. Both her sons are they're utterly charming. Really, really, really super people. And I won't name drop because there were other people there. There was one particular lord. I won't say his name, but he was a lord. He was sitting next to me, and he wanted me to say, and Steph, on our channels, to reiterate, he has known Camilla for many, many years. He also knew Princess Diana. He adored Princess Diana. I mean, Lady C knew Princess Diana as well, as we all know. And he said to me, Diana was totally down to earth, super charming, and as everyone would imagine her to be. But he said equally, Camilla has a sense of humour and is so down to earth, and she's really not into, you know, it was never she wanted to be in the royal family. It's not like that. She's very, very down to earth, but a great sense of humour, which I see that anyway. And I have made the point before that when Princess Diana died, her and Charles were already divorced, and it was all settled, and Diana was getting on with her new life. It is not only tragic that she was killed, but it was unfortunate for them as well, because the timing of it sort of builds a narrative for the public, which is very unfair. And I personally believe that had Princess Diana lived, Charles and Camilla would have got married, and Diana would have made it her business to show support, to show approval, you know, for the public narrative, because it takes time to get a big message out to the public. Anyway, interestingly enough, this morning I had told Airbnb we're parting company, and I got a phone call this morning. I got a message, then I got a phone call. All is forgiven and forgotten, you know, we'll offer you support and all that. I'm not sure that I don't think I am going to stay with them. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but they have looked into things and they have discovered that, you know, perhaps not everything is quite as straightforward as their AI thought or their call centre thought. And, well, we'll see where it goes from there. As I say, I've already had to pay extra, well, not pay extra, I've got the reduced insurance, but I've had to increase the insurance. I've had to arrange for security to be there. They're all like, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? And I will be back. I can say it on this because I'll be back by the time this is released. But I'm not going to make it public knowledge before I go back. Today is Sunday, the 6th or 7th. You know, I'm not sure. Well, I think it's the 6th because the ball was the 5th, wasn't it? Yes. So it's Sunday the 6th. So I've got one more night, and then I will be up at about 3 o'clock in the morning, which will be the Monday technically, but for me it'll still be Sunday night. And I'm catching the early flight back to Gibraltar, so I will land in Gibraltar about 10:30 in the morning, and then I will be able to start editing this together. But having been into Arundel Castle, and you can clearly see some rooms where the Duke of Norfolk and his family actually entertain and they live, it just astonishes me that Meghan just would rather throw away all that heritage that she was invited to be involved with, and that she would prefer to prance around in a garden in Montecito making her jam and honey when she's not even making it. And the one thing at Lady C's ball I will tell you, no matter who I met, from what background they were from, and there was one lady came all the way over from Houston, from America, to see Lady C and to come and visit and see the other YouTubers were there, and I'll put a picture of her up, her and her husband. Really, she was super excited. And I've forgotten what I was going to say. Oh yeah, Megan, throwing everything away. Oh yeah, everyone at the party, everyone from all walks of life. Megan's name came up frequently, and it was basically the "we don't like Meghan Markle club, we don't approve of Meghan Markle club," and it was pretty much consensus across the board. I didn't meet a single person there, and I met another lady who wanted to swap phone numbers, and she is, again, I won't name drop, but she is very good friends with the Prince of Liechtenstein and other European families, and also members of the British royal family. There were a lot of people there last night who are friends with the British royal family, including the Lord that I was sitting next to, and just sort of expressing certain messages that they would like to get across. I don't think they need to worry about getting the message across that Meghan is a grifter, basically. I was really nervous about going. I absolutely loved it. I loved it. I would go again if I can afford it, but I don't think I will. In being realistic, I doubt very much if I will come next year. I think this year I wanted to do this because I wanted to try and step outside my comfort zone as a result of being on my own these days, and to just see. And initially I was planning to visit certain other people who apparently now don't like me because I don't know, they believe things trolls say, so they were never real friends in the first place, were they? And that's about it. And I'll do some voiceover and I'll piece it. Oh no, I'm staying, sorry. That's why I've got the door open, but I've got to have the engine running because my battery's flat, so the engine is charging the phone, and it's so busy here. Everybody wants my parking space, so.
I'm thinking if you don't want the crust of that.
It feels like everybody wants to talk to me when I'm filming. And I will say, Dan Wootton, I'm not just saying this, he is a lot more good looking in real life. And his fiance is, so many people said to me, who's that guy? Who's that guy? Do you think he's available? And I'd have to say that's Dan's fiance. He's taken, I'm afraid. So, I mean, that's it for me for the moment. I'm really glad that I finally got to see a stately home, because most of the time I've been sitting in that other Airbnb, but I have enjoyed it. It's been nice because I've been sort of chatting to you guys. I've had a lot of time to sit and think to myself. And once I get back to Spain, I'm going to continue reevaluating and trying to find my feet and think where exactly I'm going to go in life, what I'm going to do. I don't know. How's your day been? And there'll be more video overnight, and I shall of course film the landing back at the Rock of Gibraltar.
Any of that jar? Huh? Yeah.
Welcome to Gibraltar, where the local time is approaching 20 past 10. Electronic devices may now be used if they're within reach for calls meshing internet access. Please keep your seatbelt fastened and remain seated till the seatbelt signs have been switched off. Take all your personal belongings with you, checking the seat pocket underneath the seat and in the overhead lockers. Please take care when opening the overhead lockers in case anything has moved and may fall out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. We'd like to thank you very much for flying with us today. We look forward to welcoming you on board again soon.
Did you know that we also offer an unbeatable price guarantee for our package holidays? Whether you're after a city break or a beach holiday, we've got thousands of hand-picked hotels for you to choose from. Simply search EasyJet Holidays and start planning your next getaway.
Mantenga el cinturón de seguridad abrochado hasta que se apague la señal de cinturón de seguridad. Ya puede utilizar dispositivos electrónicos. Eche un vistazo a su alrededor para asegurarse de que se lleva todas sus pertenencias. Tenga cuidado al abrir los compartimentos superiores, ya que es posible que el contenido se haya movido. No se permite fumar hasta que se encuentre en una zona para fumadores. Gracias por volar con nosotros hoy. Esperamos poder volver a darle la bienvenida pronto. ¿Sabía que también ofrecemos una garantía de precio inmejorable para nuestros paquetes de vacaciones? Tanto si busca una escapada a la ciudad o unas vacaciones en la playa, disponemos de miles de hoteles cuidadosamente seleccionados para que usted elija. Simplemente busque EasyJet Holidays y comience a planificar su próxima escapada.
Please remain seated because we are still moving. Thank you so much.
I don't think we're going to need to jump on now. That seems a bit warmer than yeah.
Cabin crew, disarm doors for arrival. Thank you.
Believe it or not, that was actually a very smooth landing at Gibraltar. It's an incredibly short runway with water all around. So get away from that noisy jet engine. Pretty cool, huh? So basically they got to get it down and get the brakes on as fast as possible. They're well practiced at that. It's good to be home.